Hello and welcome to the 80th episode of the DCP. I'm back this week. I was playing Magic all last week. I apologize for not being here. I want to make this all about me.
How was your Magic
And I have the
tournament?
stream turned on, so I'm hearing an echo, and it's really distracting me. Anyway.
Nobody can do that intro better.
No,
It's
you
true.
This is the
Tefty tried to mimic you last week,
It was
but
miserable.
It takes a certain amount of awkwardness and lack
Insecurity.
of giving a fuck. Yeah.
And disregard it. A certain level of disregard.
We'll go there. Yeah, exactly. It's like everything will be fine. It'll work out even if it doesn't. Anyway, so yeah, I'm back from a Magic tournament. I went 5-3, and I didn't actually make day 2, and I didn't win the overall tournament. But I had fun the entire weekend.
That's what counts.
wait. So people actually keep score?
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that you've ever had any fun whatsoever.
What
is this fun you speak of, Patrick?
5-3.
This
What
newfound
does that
fun.
mean? Like
That means I won 5 matches and lost 3, but you had to win 6 matches and only lose 2 if you wanted to make day 2 of the tournament. 2-day tournament.
so you're not as good at Magic as you say. you are.
GPs are a different breed. They're much harder to a Grand Prix. A Grand Prix. There were 3,000 people.
GP. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I thought you were saying EP. EP.
I know.
No?
Too.
the
EPs are a different breed. A
Well,
lot harder.
Maybe we can just skip this whole conversation and move to introducing our guests.
Yeah, I'm
Agreed.
cool with talking about Magic for the rest of the time because I clearly didn't get enough of that this weekend. But no, I'll agree.
Our guest this week is Lori Pops. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
You're welcome. It's good to be here.
Welcome.
So you have you're an American now. Is that true? Are you an actual U.S. citizen now?
How's your American accent?
Yeah, let's hear your American.
It's really bad.
No, we want to
Oh my God.
say I went to the store for some milk in American.
I went to the store for some milk. In American. No, I'm joking. I'm not that good at it. I sound like I'm really forcing it out of my mouth.
Yeah, that's good. So, how long have you been in the States?
I moved here on the 23rd of January, so almost 3 months. Not too far away from 3 months.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone by so quick. Oh my God.
And you just recently got married?
I did 1 week and 1 day ago, actually. Yeah.
You guys
That's
got a
awesome.
honeymoon planned, or is it
We had a 2-day honeymoon because we're both workaholics, and so we're just like, especially at the moment because moving was so expensive and all that jazz. So we're like, okay, we'll go for 2 nights somewhere really nice. Went to Seaside, Oregon, which was amazing. It was a bit rainy though, but we enjoyed it nonetheless. Yeah, and then we just come back and straight back into streaming again. Maybe later on we'll have like something, maybe a week long or something. But yeah.
Well, it's sort of strange because I feel like you guys being both very personal, very out there as streamers in front of the community. Has it been awkward, like sharing those details are not kind of your part of your life is private, right?
Yeah.
But it feels like since you guys met via streaming, has it been awkward sort of keeping those things separate, or how's that been for you?
I have to completely agree. I've been thinking about that a lot throughout our entire relationship, actually. Because if I, me still being a streamer, if I was to date someone that had, was not a streamer, had like a regular job, I think I would care about the privacy a bit more. But because we're both open people and everyone's been so involved in our story and our relationship, we sort of feel like we want to share it, but we sort of feel like our viewers and community want to like hear about it and know about it. So there's nothing we don't share that we don't want to share. I guess that's the main point. Yeah.
So when are we going to see the daily vlogging going up, like the you going to the grocery store, just like that kind of thing?
When I've got time, which I don't think I'll ever have because babies. But
well, you've been you played a lot of Destiny back in the day.
Not everybody knows who you're married to. who's a streamer. So
Oh.
would you like
No.
to? Would you like to say?
Sorry.
Is it on here? Lucky and Bowape. This is one of their shirts, actually.
Married both
Lighthouse
of them?
Tours.
Both?
I mean, I may as well have. God. I'm married to Lucky from Lucky and Bowape.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty incredible.
He's an awesome guy.
And yeah, we met via the Destiny community on Twitch like over 2 years ago now. So it's been a while.
It's awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so you were playing a lot of Destiny then. Do you
Yes.
still? Are you still? Is that still one of your main games that you stream right now?
No, it's not. I played the launch of Destiny 2 and I was super excited about it. I think my son he was born on the 16th of September. So it was like right around the time when I was like, it's crazy. But so I streamed it, but then it just wasn't what I felt like I needed it to be. Like, everyone's got their personal sort of needs that they want out of Destiny. That and balancing like a newborn was sort of hard. So I haven't been able to play as much Destiny 2 as I want. I've been watching a lot, obviously, through my husband. Oh my God, I can say that now. Used to be fiance, but it's husband now. I more so keep up through watching them and watching other Destiny streamers like you guys. And I don't really have the time to play it in my own time, and it's not a game that I can stream confidently at the moment. You have to be sort of strategic about what you stream and what your community wants. So yeah, it's unfortunate. So I'm still hanging on by a thread, for hopefully the Warmind will be awesome, and we'll go from there, I guess.
And that's one of the reasons why I was really excited to have you on. I think that some people that streamed and had a community built around Destiny and have left, it's really important to hear, because I'm still very much involved in the Destiny community every day, and I want to hear if the perspective of people that are just outside of it are really keen to come back, but if the information that we're getting from Bungie and from Destiny in general, just that's coming out, is it stuff that you like to hear or you want to hear that is enticing you to come back? So I really appreciate you, jumping in here, even though, you're not playing Destiny right now. You hopefully this is the kind of stuff that will bring you back.
Yeah, exactly. I really wanted to give my like real life scenario perspective, because I think there's a lot of people, like new parents or parents in general out there, that were really looking forward to playing a lot of Destiny 2, and a bunch of people don't want to dedicate some of their free time, the little time that they have, because the game's just not where they want it to be. And that's my hurdle at the moment, is sort of like to sacrifice the time that I have, for my stream and my community or my own time. I need the game to be a little bit more exciting, and, so it's, I'm happy to offer my little perspective in that way.
Well, what if someone was going to go and check out your stream, what are you covering right now?
At the moment, well, I'm a variety streamer, so I was mainly Destiny, and then I branched out a while ago. But I usually play non-competitive games. I did dabble a little bit of PvP in Destiny 1, and I was actually pretty good. I almost got up to a 1 KD, which I was proud of, because when I first started PvP in Destiny, I was horrible, and it would make my adrenaline go because I got scared for some weird reason. So I worked my way up to a 1, but outside of Destiny PvP, I just play a lot of role-playing games, single-player story games, like The Witcher, God of War. The new God of War game is coming out, so I'll be playing that as well. Like, I just love those games with such intense stories in them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you can later during the podcast, you and Tefty can catch up on Witcher. I think that's one of his favorite games as well.
It is his favorite game, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
I've heard, yeah.
I bet you have.
So,
There's some sort of joke that I don't know about. What?
Yeah.
Me and Witcher, we have a tumultuous
Turbulent?
relationship. Yeah, turbulent.
Okay.
It's an on and off again. Currently on the off again.
Yeah, exactly. It's complicated.
He has yet to finish The Witcher.
Well,
and
what? Because you were raging through it, or what?
No, it's just because it's such like a long game to stream. I do a lot of variety
is.
currently, and when I pick a game for variety, if I know that I'm going to need to dedicate 50 to 100 hours to really experience a game, that's like that's a commitment, and it's a single player type of journey. You know, like that's like you're blocking off about a month or so of potential dates. You know, that you because one thing that you don't want to do as a variety streamer is start a game, drop it, and then come back like 6 months later, right? Like it can kill the steam for the variety experience. So it's a tough one, you know. There's not a lot of games out there that are like that too, with that much story content.
No, for sure. I went through the whole Witcher series like, oh god, I think it was like almost 2 years ago now, and I played them on the hardest difficulty from start to finish. So Witcher 3 especially, I was so crap at the beginning, and my stream, of course, was watching me be crap. But I ended up pushing through, and I don't remember how many hours it took me to finish. It was a long game though, but I killed the last boss at the very end on my first try. So I made like, this is why I love playing my games on the hardest difficulty, because I go from being like so just crap to like, you know, all this improvement. And yeah, that's sort of my gig. And I love The Witcher because it was such a challenge for me. But
that's great.
You should get back into it.
We'll consider that for sure.
Yeah.
He's lying.
We're definitely
A game that I started streaming just a couple days ago because I'm also excited about God of War as well. Super excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped into God of War 3 Remastered just a couple days ago, and I'm typically the type of person that puts it on hard as well. Like I go for the hardest difficulty. Yeah. That game is on another level of difficulty.
No, I know. I rage quit like 3/4 of the way through God of War 3 because I was stuck on this one part for like 6 hours. I was streaming it for like 6 hours.
It's
and
insanely difficult.
Going insane. It really is.
Like
yeah.
it's more difficult than Dark Souls. I'm sorry. Like there's
Do you think so?
There's a skill gap in there for like having to master the tools available to you. You have to become a parry god essentially if you want to play that game on the hardest difficulty. This is what it is.
I got past Pandora's box, and I think I was like a few stages past that before I rage quit. I was fighting the spear guys with the chimeras.
Okay.
Oh god, it was like in a gated area, and it was just they were like, you know, jumping around and attacking me. I'm just like,
yeah, yeah. The mob spam like really gets because you can only take a few hits and then you're dead essentially. So,
oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, God of War 4 should be interesting. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, the early buzz on that game is outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Oh, insane.
Yeah, I'm really torn
Pens
between
everywhere.
wanting to hear more about it and not wanting to ruin it. I think I've decided that I'm going to play it, I'm going to buy it, and so now I'm almost in a lockdown mode where I don't want to hear anything about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
me too.
I can't wait. I'm so excited about God of War.
It sounds so good, man. The reviews are just out of this world. So, well, speaking of talking about games,
420.
420.
Relates to the summit. 420 is when God of War comes out. 420 is a summit.
It's an exciting day.
Happen on 420.
Oh wow, yeah,
okay.
that's a good one.
okay. Sorry, Watts. I just thought you were talking about like, you know,
Of course
Snoop
you
Dogg.
would. Okay.
I thought you were just having a craving.
Wow.
Yeah, like you want us to take a break? We can.
It's 420 somewhere. I mean,
We're gonna order some Ben and Jerry's, and you know. All right.
You guys
Right.
want to talk about the development roadmap? That came out yesterday.
sure.
Deej posted a pretty, sizable blog along with the development roadmap. So aside from the roadmap, there is some other tidbits of news that we can get to after we actually go through each individual piece of the roadmap. But he starts off with Season 3 and the 1.2.0 update, which is coming on May 8th alongside the Warmind DLC. So there was some, we suspected from the French blog that May 8th was going to be the update. We didn't know if it was going to be the same day and date as the Warmind DLC. It is. And we're getting the following changes. Seasonal Crucible rankings, private matches, vault space increase. That's the 50 slot increase they talked about earlier. The multi-emote, exotic weapon masterworks, seasonal vendor progression, exotic weapon sandbox changes, heroic strike modifiers, and nightfall challenge cards.
It's a lot of stuff, actually.
That is a lot of stuff, right?
Plus the DLC is coming out, so you got all of that going on, plus the new content. So
Yeah.
it's a good.
Yeah.
May's looking good.
Yeah, I think there was one thing that was on that list for 1.2.0 that got delayed till summer, which is exotic armor sandbox changes.
But we're still getting weapons on.
Yeah.
We're still getting weapons,
Okay.
not armor, though.
Okay.
I mean, seasonal Crucible rankings. We've talked about that in the past. It
No
seems to
idea
be
what
like,
that means.
yeah. I mean, well,
Because it's not a ranked playlist, is it?
No.
It's your elo in game.
I think it's
Well, there's two
glorified elo,
measurements, right? There will be two ranking systems. One is just going to be basically every time you complete a match, you'll get some points toward, your ranking. And if you win a match, you'll get a little more. If you lose a match, you'll get a little less. And then there will be a second ranking that will go up if you win in the competitive playlist and go down if you lose in the competitive playlist.
Right.
It'll be interesting, I suppose. And I don't see how it really adds a whole lot to the game.
It only adds stuff to the game if they're putting like stuff with that rank, right? When you reach a certain
Rewards.
level, you unlock an ornament or you unlock like an armor piece or something. There needs to be some kind of unlock instead of here's just an emblem that shows where you are on the ELO ladder. There needs to be something.
So, how many of you guys have already completed all the ornaments unlocked for the season?
Nope.
I believe I have.
I have, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I need.
Are you talking the Crucible one specifically, or are you talking about the Crucible, the Iron Banner, and all the factions?
Let's say all of it.
Yes, I have. I believe I have.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean,
don't
the
think
faction one seems like it's a lot of work, but it's actually not, because once you do it for one character, it unlocks it for
You
all
get
your
it for-
characters.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of
the only
with
ones
Holtz
that
on this one. Like I could care less because it's cosmetic.
I would like new armor for the ranking. Like have that be a ranking thing. When you get to a certain level, you unlock this armor that looks this way.
Mm-hmm.
Until we get to September, I'm going to disagree with you, Watts. I'd rather get ornaments because I don't have space in my vault, and 50 slots ain't going to solve that issue.
I agree. Totally agree.
I mean that's true. At least with the ornaments, you don't have to take up space.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is on April 24th, we're going to, which isn't too far away, right? We're going to get a reveal stream where they're going to be able to cover a bunch of this stuff.
Which is interesting in and of itself, because in the past, we've had 3 reveal streams for DLCs and for expansions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this time, we're getting 1 reveal stream. So my question, looking at that was, I wonder how much of a response that is to the negative response that the Curse of Osiris reveal streams got. What are they going to show off? What is going to be the difference between how they reveal Warmind compared to how they revealed Curse of Osiris?
Curse of Osiris was very much so like there was a full stream dedicated to stuff where people were like, wait, that's it?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think just doing one stream and not giving us too much stuff, just giving us a little bit, kind of showing us what it's about, I think is fine. They don't need to do 3.
Yeah,
Definitely.
You could literally have a stream of, hey, here's the show the trailer, and then maybe some dev talks for a little bit, like that's.
I mean,
all that it
a
really takes
perk
for
to
me.
doing like 3 of the streams would be all the people that subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
Because it all goes to charity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a perk if they did an out of the box perk, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They got inside the development roadmap. They go into for the May 8th one. The changes to PvP. I'd like to read a little segment off of the link that talks about the difference between expansions, seasons, and Eververse.
Okay.
There's a distinction between the two, but specifically season 3 that's coming up marks the beginning of a new plan for how we deliver Crucible content. For every player in Destiny 2, we'll be releasing all of the new Crucible maps being developed for the Warmind into matchmaking. The same goes for the maps we released for Curse of Osiris. To keep the community and the Crucible unified, everyone will see new arenas in match-made playlists like Quick Play, Competitive, Trials of the Nine, Iron Banner, as well as the new weekly rotators that include Rumble and Mayhem. That means more opponents for everybody. With the arrival of private matches, players will need to purchase each expansion to have exclusive access to play those Crucible maps with other players in private match. This plan goes into effect on May 8th with the beginning of season 3. And I wanted to know what you guys thought of all that.
Thank
We've
God.
been asking it for 3 years.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Think-
because
think
what
I'm
you load up the Osiris playlist, you know, to try some of the new maps, but then there's not that many people in there, so you go back to the normal playlist,
Yeah.
and then you never see those maps ever again.
Yeah.
So, well, not ever again, but you have to wait a very long time to see them in matchmaking.
Yeah.
So this is so good because we actually get to play the new content instead of just not playing.
Yeah, and also
On PC, Go
I was
ahead.
going to say also the player population has been fractured even further on PC. And so
Yes.
if you
Yeah.
split that further and have 2 of these playlists like you've seen now, it's like a ghost town in trying to get matches in there.
Yeah.
So at least it'll help with those situations. And also again, I want to play some of those maps and not have to wait like 30 minutes for a match or something.
all right. I'm glad they did this before September too. Like, I'm glad that they're deciding to do this per DLC as opposed to like have a situation where you're fractured between here's a group of people who only have the base maps, the vanilla maps. Here's a group of people who have the vanilla maps in Osiris, but not not Warmind. Here's a group of people that have vanilla and Warmind, but not Osiris. So you just
Yeah,
kind of
it's-
splinter
Gets into a
the
problem.
player population. And on PC, that is just not a tenable situation. There's only 7 of us, for God's sakes.
What sort of disappoints me is that there's no conversation about giving us more like options within these playlists. I think that's something
Right.
that a lot of people have been talking about, how especially myself, that I feel like PvP would be a lot more interesting if those quick play competitive, buckets were more divided. And one of the biggest things is people were saying that the player population would be affected. I think that this would have been a great opportunity if they're making all the maps available and condensing all the population. This would be a great opportunity to make more selections within it, right?
Yeah,
Now
I
that
agree
you've
with
got
you, Pope.
everybody
It's,
together.
you got a bunch of people coming back to the game
Yeah.
who may or may not check out Crucible. Show them that now you can play Crucible your way.
Mhm.
Control is you can play Control if you want. You can play whatever mode you want.
Yeah.
It is scary. I'm sure it is scary to have a small player base and to think about like spreading them out even more.
Yeah.
My argument to that would be if you build it, they'll come. Right now, you're not providing a good enough experience to keep players there, so the player population dwindles. You've got to make it an enticing place for people to stick around, and that is a big part of it, I believe. Is Watts, how many times have you said, "I don't want to play"?
Every day I play Destiny, I am saying it multiple times. I want
Yeah.
to play Control. I just
wanna
want to
play
play
Control.
Control. I just want to play
Yeah,
Control.
let me
I
play
completely
Control.
agree.
Let
I
her play
completely
Control.
agree, Brian.
Yeah.
She just wants to play Control.
I just want to play Control. Can I have a playlist that has Control and Zoe Control in it?
That'd be great.
Just that.
Yes,
Yeah.
you may further splinter the populace, but if you make the Crucible a more fun place to be, that'll take care of itself. But you've got to make it fun first.
Mhm.
You can't try and get the players in there and then split them up. You have to split them up and then put the players in.
Yeah.
So let me point out a couple other things that came from this graphic that they have about post-launch content. And one of the things that they talk about in seasons is content that is available to all D2 players. Okay. And in that list is Iron Banner, faction rallies, seasonal reputation rewards, end game activities, new Crucible maps, seasonal events, and new features and updates. I really like that all of these seasonal events are not going to be gated, right?
Right.
I like that the community can be involved in it and participate.
Definitely.
Expansion content that is purchased. We got a new campaign, new destination rewards, a new raid layer, new Crucible maps, including private matches, legendary and exotic gear. One of the things that got me thinking about that graphic is new Crucible maps. I'm sure everybody's wanting to see new designed maps, and we've talked about it in the past. Are we hoping that they bring in some fan favorites from D1 in this list?
I'm I'm hoping they bring it for stuff like when Iron Banner comes around and they're like, here's a new map and here's Iron Banner, like they did when Iron Banner first launched.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
hoping they kind of bring back old favorites like that, and then with DLC as like fresh new maps.
Well,
I think fresh new maps are like the way to pave forward, and bringing the old maps in is just something like for an event, like for fun. But I
Okay.
don't think they should concentrate on, we want to see new stuff. We want to like master the new maps. So
Mhm.
Right.
yeah, I'm definitely with you on that. At the same time, though, now everybody can play them, though. So if you bought D2, you'll be able to play any of these maps that come out. So if they do bring in, say, like 3 new maps and a couple redone ones as well, like I'm not going to be
Right.
disappointed about that, because it's a part of the whole Destiny 2 experience now, regardless of what expansion you own for PvP.
Right, and all new Crucible maps are all
That's a good
Crucible maps
point.
that are coming to the game are basically free.
Exactly,
now,
yeah.
right? Because you don't have
Right.
to buy DLC.
I mean, they have
I
to
think
they
they
have to
should
make new
dump-
maps for sure. Like that's 100% a
Yes.
fact. But if they
Yeah.
bring in a couple remasters as well from D1, I'm okay with that as well.
Yeah.
I think they should dump a few of them in there. I think
Yeah.
I don't know how long it would take to port Destiny 1 maps over to Destiny 2, but with the reintroduction of 6v6, I don't feel like these maps are going to support 6v6s as well as the
Yeah,
old
we
ones
need to
did.
have some of the big
So,
ones that were
like-
available.
Like, I don't know how hard it is to port those maps over. Like, is Rusted Lands is that a 2-week job for 100 employees, or is it a 1-week job for 2 employees? I have no idea, right?
Right.
Right.
But with 6v6 coming back, I'm scared that these maps that Bungie has very specifically built out for 4v4 play, they mentioned that before Destiny 2 even came out, that we've changed to 4v4 and we're building the maps around that specifically. Now that we're changing that, or now that they're changing that, I do really think that the easiest way to fix this is probably to just dump a few Destiny 1 maps in there that were built with 6v6 in mind.
I would take Rusted and Bannerfall. I'll take them.
Mhm.
I'm not complaining.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I'll take both.
I hope that we see in private matches, continue to speak about Crucible. I hope we see in private matches some flexibility in some of the settings, a little bit more than we saw in D1. It would be nice to have
Yes.
a next level of private matches. And I'm not talking about Forge World, even though that would be fantastic, like being able to put elements into the maps and create our own. But it would be nice to have something like in early Halo 3 or in early Halo, they had matches where you could create different rule sets and then save those and share that with the community. I think it would be fun. And out of that, we saw Griffball and a bunch of other game modes come out. It would be great if they could give us private matches that were more than just the.
Custom matches.
I'd like to see custom masters.
I would like to see that too.
Same.
Summer, we got the roadmap for summer.
Mhm.
There's one there, it's not dated, it just generally says summer. There's 5 things on the list for summer. New seasonal event, which is interesting.
Yeah. Summer seasonal event.
Yeah,
Mm.
faction rally improvements, bounties, PC clan chat, and the exotic armor sandbox changes that got moved out of May. What do you guys think the new seasonal event is going to be?
Ooh, summer solstice.
yeah.
Hmm.
I've heard a lot of
first thing.
SRL talk.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh my god. Oh good. That would bring me back.
Really?
Yeah, that would. Are
Yeah,
you kidding me?
SRL.
I was crazy about SRL.
SRL would be fun.
I remember the first SRL event we did, and Goth and Broman hosted it, and I think I got second. I can't remember. I think Trav got first, but anyway, we got sent an SRL jacket from Bungie.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really really cool.
A lot of people really loved SRL.
Yeah.
They did.
I wasn't one of those people. I do
I
not want to see
wasn't.
the SRL come back.
I personally did not like it either, but I know a lot of people really like it. So
Yeah.
if it's an event and it's also accompanied by something for other people too, I'm game.
Yeah.
If it gives me cool hunter capes, I
I think that's something they should definitely introduce for SRL is better perks, better things to get. because otherwise it's just you're just racing and you're not really getting much in return.
Mhm.
You know, that actually helps you in the game. So
It depends on how fun the racing is too. Like if it's, I mean, if it's go around a track type stuff, yeah, whatever. But man, I don't
it's
know.
not
If we could-
everyone's thing.
if they add some combat to it, get some power ups, maybe
That'd be
Like
freaking
a-
awesome.
Like on the side
bring
of
in
your
some bananas and turtle shells.
Now we're talking.
Yeah,
a
now we're
Colossus,
talking. I'm a
Colossus
happy
rocket
boy.
pack that you launch in
You're-
mid-fight.
You're interesting me now. You're interesting me.
That'd be awesome. Pop a golden gun on your Sparrow.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
I would really like those seasonal events to include some varieties of a seasonal playlist for Crucible.
Mm-hmm.
Some crazy playlist
Like
that they
Rift?
throw in.
Crazy.
Not Rift. Like I get it, Rift, but throw in something like Capture the Flag
Something-
or
I think also them just
Oddball.
being silly would be great. Like
I-
nothing.
I'd
Everything
love to
doesn't need to
see-
be super serious
Mhm.
Crucible
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Do
I'd like to
something
see
like that.
Rumble King of the Hill.
That would be what it is now with power ammo, but it would be great. I like it.
I don't
If they,
know.
if they
I'd
could
like to
do
see
like
them
crazy
be-
stuff, wouldn't it be amazing if they had like small body, big head mode? You know what I mean?
That'd be great.
Wouldn't it be awesome?
I would love to see tractor cannon only.
That would be
absolutely
amazing.
amazing.
Oh,
On a map that has a lot of edges.
I would love it.
yeah.
That would be hilarious.
See, stuff like that. I feel like that's kind of what the game, like, that's one of the things that it's missing heavily when it comes to, you look at Monster Hunter World and they bring in all this stuff from all these other games and they don't care that it makes no sense in the lore whatsoever. Not to say we shouldn't respect the lore, because we should, 100%.
Excuse me, rocket swords
But-
make complete sense.
But yeah, that's true.
Hello.
But just when it's like fun in PvP, like let's have some craziness. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember in Call of Duty where they had like a game mode where I forget the name of it? There was like 7 or 8 or 10 guns, and you had to get a kill. And when
Gun
you got
game.
the kill,
Oh, to
gun-
upgrade your
Gun game was
guns?
amazing.
Yeah.
and it brought you a new gun, and you had to get it. And when you died, it reset it
No, if somebody
Or-
meleeed
I
you,
sucked at
if somebody
that.
melee kills you, you lost it, went down a level.
all the way down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, man, that was so. Those kind of creative, fun games that give people an opportunity to explore something new.
Yeah. Party games. Yeah.
Yeah, party games, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That stuff is a lot of fun. It goes a long way for when you've like essentially done most of the content in the game. And that's what the majority of the population's experience right now is like we've exhausted the potentials in the game. The sandbox is not a mystery to us right now.
Giving us like, for example, giving us custom game options. And I know I keep bringing this up because I really want to harp on it. If we had those, the community could create so many things.
Mm-hmm.
And the creativeness of the community, it would be fun. Think about our supers and our abilities mixed in with people's creativity of the custom game settings.
You just have to add people's creativity because people already got pretty inventive with stuff to adjust the private matches. Like they
Mhm.
were able to figure out, they were able to mess with the light levels to actually get kind of the year one Crucible meta back just by adjusting how you had your light levels set.
Mhm.
So, give people even more control over the sandbox, and they will make more interesting game modes, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think there's a great suggestion in chat of a game mode where you can have all of your slots be filled with exotics.
Sure.
I mean, fun stuff like that.
So
Mhm.
those are game modes, but what do you guys? I mean, we're not talking about game modes. We're talking about a seasonal event, right?
Mhm.
Something
Right.
like an
Right.
Iron Banner, something like the Faction Rally.
Right.
That's or more actually more
Crimson Days was
more
that.
like Crimson Days, yeah,
Or the snowballs
Or
and the stripes.
winter. Yeah, so really more something like that, and something in the summer. I mean, let's assume it's not SRL, just
Okay.
for conversation's sake.
Sure.
Like, what kind of thing would you like to see? Like, what's missing
Volleyball power-ups.
seasonally?
You pick up the volleyball, you dunk them on the boss.
I mean, they've got the soccer ball thing, so they
Right.
could, they've always had a ball in the tower. Maybe they should just go full force with something like that.
They could just call it sports ball across the board.
Yeah.
Sports ball mode.
Sports ball.
Mm-hmm.
Bikini
Yeah.
armor. That's what I want.
There we go.
bikini armor.
I don't know if they weren't already saying faction rally improvements, I would have liked to have said something like bring in the concept of a faction war as the seasonal event.
Oh, an actual faction war?
It doesn't sound like that's not their idea because it's listed as something different.
Mhm.
But it would be great to have something where we got an opportunity to I don't know, not forge but craft. I don't know. There's so many.
Get it, Pope?
opportunities.
You want Forge and Destiny? We get it.
I would love
record with
Forge.
this.
I would absolutely love a Forge mode in Destiny, but like that's not going to happen for a seasonal event or something. Like they
No, forge our
Wait,
weapons
go-
is where
what
I was
about-
going with that.
Oh.
but
So someone
different, yeah.
someone in chat randomism said, "What if you bring back Rift, but on a beach with a volleyball?"
let's have it.
That's how they're gonna bring back
in.
Rift.
Seasonal
That's it.
event.
That's it right there.
Bathing.
the summer
Bathing from the
games.
sun on Mercury as it's being ripped apart while you play some sort of volleyball rift
And you
thing.
get an emote. You can have an exotic emote where you put down a beach towel and you go sunbathing.
I actually want
Ooh,
that.
that's
That would be
cool.
awesome.
An M-rated
Abs
version of
behind
the
the head.
game.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great
Bounties
idea.
are coming back. What do you guys think about that? Bounties.
love bounties.
I love that.
Destiny one?
I love.
I think
that.
it's fantastic. I was actually reminiscing about like opening up D1 in vanilla and being like, oh, I need to do my dailies because I need these bounties for the XP that's going to give to level up weapons and stuff, which I know is not the investment system that's in the game right now, but that was something that brought me back every day. I was like, oh, go kill some
Yeah.
captains over here.
How
Go kill some
are
thrall.
bounties different than milestones now?
Because it's a checklist that I can make and I can choose how I want to go about doing.
Exactly.
So I just go to planet, do things. I don't know what's on the planet. I don't.
Right?
You know, it maybe.
I want to go and pick up a thing.
It's
Milestones
Yeah.
are also very broad, right? The milestone for the Crucible is complete 5 Crucible matches, where a bounty would have been, like you kill 20 hunters,
It's more
kills-
detailed, yeah.
Mhm.
kill seven dregs, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's more
you could
specific.
plan 'em
go to
too.
specific places to do it.
Mhm. You could plan it. You could be like, oh, well, the 2 of these are on Mars. I'll pick these up right now. I'll save those for later because I'm going to be doing something else or something.
Yeah, I think the disconnect happened because there's also, say for example, Briar, you wanted to do that in Crucible. The Crucible playlist itself that you went into had challenges that were more like bounties. The
Right.
challenges within them. So the problem with the disconnect is that challenges drilled down into what bounties were. They're too hidden from the person.
super
You
hidden.
almost
The
you have
ones
to
in
be
the Crucible are extremely hidden, right? You have to
You have to be
in your
in
Crucible
game.
match. You
Yeah.
have to stop and hit the button to bring it up. Like
It's-
in game, you can't even look
and
at
then
it.
you're like, wait a
outside of
second, I
the-
had to equip something,
Yeah.
or I had to be a solar to get solar kills, and I'm a warlock.
Right? It's incredibly disconnected.
It's
It's incredibly
Yeah.
disconnected. And like the process of going to a board and selecting the stuff. I know this is kind of it's on that MMO spectrum, but that is also what we really enjoyed about it. Was we liked those dailies.
There's just a really simple psychological thing about making a checklist and completing the checklist. It's enjoyable. You can make a simple checklist of itemized for cleaning my table. At the end of it, I'm going to feel really good, even though it's just cleaning my damn table.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I love a
The
good cleaning.
problem I need to see with bounties coming is why? What
Yes.
what are they going to get me?
Hopefully
tokens.
something cool.
I'm
No.
gonna get
You're
you
getting tokens.
exotics, new exotic bounties.
I
And that's how
highly
we
doubt.
get the exotic bounties to come up.
Yes,
Oh.
that's how we're gonna get them.
Let's be honest.
Sure.
Are we going to get exotic bounties in the summer?
Yes, we are.
Pope, can you pass the ganj because you were smoking it?
I'm smoking it hard, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that we are gonna get exotic bounties,
In the summer?
and they're gonna be, yeah.
So
When else?
go for it, Lori.
No, I was going to say, when else would they come in?
Oh, the exotic bounties, I think they're going to happen in September because all this is laying down bricks and brick and mortar for an actual sandbox change that's going to bring meaningful loot in September. Because I'm definitely excited over the idea of bounties and the things that they're going to bring, but I don't think any of it is actually going to be meaningful in an end game sense until they reorganize everything come September.
I think they have a plan here. We're gonna get bounties. They're not gonna tell us about them, right? And in the process of doing these bounties, just like we got Thorn and we got those other exotics, there was like 3 or 4 exotics.
One and then
Bad
year
juju.
3.
that's what's going to happen. We're going to get bam, somebody's going to drop an exotic bounty after completing one of the dailies, and then everyone's going to be like, "Where'd you get that?"
That would be a
That's
great
gonna happen this
surprise.
summer.
That
I
would
mean,
be
I would
amazing.
love that. That would make
Yeah.
me very happy.
It ties in, the bounties tie in a lot with the seasonal vendor progression. I see seasonal vendor progression. I'm like, okay, cool,
Mhm.
but what's that gonna get me, right? Because I mean, I already leveling these guys up. It's just not represented in game. Like I don't see a number of how many times I've done it.
Exactly.
Right. So putting progression on there, what do they mean by that? Are they just going to put a number on how many times I've done it, or
I
is
hope-
there going to be a reward for doing it up to level 10, up to level 20, up to level 30?
There has to be some kind of reward. Otherwise, I personally, if I was Bungie, I would not put on a roadmap that, hey, we're now going to have a number by how much you've leveled this up. Like
Well,
that's
Keep in mind, like a while back, they did have
Hope they
that
don't
small
do that.
blog post, or it was on the TWAB about what they're about, like kind of the goals behind faction rally
Mhm.
improvements.
Mhm.
And like I think we can all agree that they got the whole cosmetic thing down. They got cosmetics down for just about every update for everything, and it's good. People that like cosmetics will keep playing the game for cosmetics for the most part. It might bring some other types of people back if they're interested in them, but it's kind of negating the types of players that want to play for other reasons.
Mhm.
So I think for faction rallies, you guys keep talking about what do we want, like why should I pledge this faction rally? It doesn't seem to mean anything. I can't show it off or anything like that. So I'd like to see some sort of like quest progression, like since bounties are coming in with faction rally improvements in the summer. I don't know. They could be delayed from each other, but maybe those two systems could coincide with each other while you're doing bounties that possibly evolve for faction rallies.
That'd be awesome. I like that. Yeah.
Moving on to season 4, September. We're going to be getting gear collections, which I was thrilled to see. So my assumption of gear collections, what that actually means, because these are incredibly vague,
they are.
Right.
is
What
that
do
it's
you
going
collect?
to work like the current exotic collection, where you can delete something, but it stays in your collection. Is
Okay.
that
That's
kind
what
of
I'm hoping.
that the impression you guys got?
Yes.
Yeah, when I heard gear
Kiosks
collection, I thought,
for gear.
oh, I can finally delete some of these weapons that I have that I will never use again. But
Right.
I will still be, in case I want to use them again, I can
Buy
maybe
'em.
get them back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it to me, this is the vault space fix that we've been looking for. If that's what it is, right? If
I
that's
hope so.
This is finally the vault space thing we've been looking for. Destin on IGN can stop counting the days since the vault has been fixed. The 50 space vault space increase that we're getting in May is a temporary fix just to get us till September. And then this finally, after 4 years of Destiny, we finally have the fix to the vault that we're looking for. Hopefully this goes for mods. Hopefully this goes for weapons, armor, shaders, like anything that is a pain point in your inventory right now. I'm hoping that you get a gear collection for,
Yeah.
or that mods just like evolve into something else, and it's not the pain point that it is now.
Yeah, it would also help for people who want to check things off the list too of actually collecting everything in the game. They could see which weapons possibly, or like some question mark of weapons that they might not have dropped from the gunsmith. They could see that. I mean, a lot of us who have already played a bunch already have all that done, but that is a nice progression system to be able to say, oh, I'm missing a couple from Mercury, or I'm missing a couple from IO or something. I need to go hunt those down.
Yeah. There's a website that does that now where you can see like literally like every piece of gear in the game, and it's literally like just checking them off. It's very cool because like if you're looking for something to do, especially in PvE, it gives you something to do. I can go
It does.
and do that, check those boxes. It's pretty neat.
Yeah,
But you're going to have to delete some of that stuff because there's not enough room for it all.
exactly.
I think I hope that this is more, what you guys are saying. I hope this is a checklist, or at least something in game where we can go and find a way of finding out that piece of something that we didn't have. But one of the things that I hope that it has is where to find it, or at least what activity to find it in. I liked back in Destiny 1 where we had the shaders and player cards. We could look to see where it was where you got it from.
Mhm.
And I don't know about you guys, but I really went through there, and I purposely went to get all of them. Even though I didn't use them all, I wanted to check them out.
Yeah.
So I'd go and try to find that player card or that shader. So
I'm the opposite, Pope. I'd rather talk to friends or go and like try and figure out where it's from. It like adds a mystery to the game that I feel like is missing right now. Whereas if I really want like a specific item, I got to go and figure out where to get it from, right? It's
So you like the challenge?
I like the challenge and I like the mystery of trying to figure that
Sure.
thing out, as opposed to having it just just go and grind this, this.
Oh, well,
specific boss sector and get it.
in D1, it didn't tell you how to specifically to get it. It just told you it could be obtained in strikes. It could be obtained in,
It gave you a little bit of
vaulted
direction.
glass. It gave you a direction, but
Yeah.
you still needed to, it wouldn't get you all the way there, but it would point you in the right direction. And I appreciated that. I'm sort of antisocial. So if I want to go figure something out, I can YouTube it if I want to, or I could ask a friend. But ultimately, I like
antisocial. That's those words have never been said together.
Well, I'm trying to represent a position of a person who likes to play the game by themselves. I understand that there's a lot of people that play it socially and with a lot of people, but there's a lot of people who play the game solo who feel underrepresented. The lack of matchmaking in Nightfall is an example.
Mhm.
I think regular Nightfall could be match made easily.
Easily.
Yeah.
Especially
I can
with the way
understand
that guided
prestige
games
mode. Yeah, I can understand prestige mode not having matchmaking, but we know that the LFG in Destiny, the clan system thing is not working, right?
Yeah.
This would be a great opportunity for them to highlight these solo players and give them an opportunity to, have fun in the game and do the collections. That they're the type of people that like to go out and collect everything and store stuff and run around and do matchmaking, but not necessarily talk to people.
Mhm.
So
I want some mystery to come back to Destiny, though. Like,
I
do you
mean,
remember
yeah,
with
in
House of
general.
Wolves, there was like those bounties that they would send you on a specific mission to go kill a specific set of the
Yeah.
fallen? Yeah, the fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that because you had to, every Tuesday you had to wake up, and figure out exactly where those guys are. You could look up at a YouTube video or you could just try and find them yourself, which I found incredibly entertaining. Like just going and obviously by week 6, you knew where all of them were.
Mhm.
But those first few weeks was very entertaining. And
Yeah.
I think that there's certain things in the game that are really missed opportunities for that. Like the Cade's treasure chest could totally be that, randomize those chest locations and never put them on the map, or put an icon in the general region it is on the map,
Sure.
but not necessarily the exact spot. Xur, why is he marked on the map? Why can't that
It
be a
should be
mystery?
hidden.
and why can't he be more random on the maps? I guess that's
I wanted
something.
to ask
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys a question. Actually, a while ago when I was streaming, someone said, "What if Xur didn't come every week? Like, what if he would only come 2 weeks out of the month?"
I'd
or
be okay
something
with
like
that.
Yeah,
That's how Warframe does it.
Yeah, my opinion is like that would be awesome because that would also allow them to make Xur more interesting too. If he didn't
Mhm.
show up every single time, that could actually make him carry more stuff. He could maybe, and when bounties come back, he could have a cool bounty or something like that too.
I've wanted
Like,
Xur bounties for so long.
People have
Same.
been wanting Xur to like be the starting point to some sort of thing, not the start and the end point
Mhm.
to a lot of things,
Yep.
so to speak. So
Completely agree. Yeah, because then he's only here every so often.
Mhm.
So you're like, okay, I have this bounty. I can either try and complete it in like a day or however long, or I'm gonna have to wait a week. It kind of adds that little bit of, this is his thing. I gotta go do it now. He's got this bounty. I really want this weapon. So I would love for him to have exotic bounties. I think that he is
That's
the
a great
perfect
idea.
person to do it.
Yeah.
Make him interesting.
As it is right
Make him
now,
interesting.
he's
Yeah.
in the game more often than not, and I think that's a problem because he's 4 days of the week.
Yeah.
We don't need 4 days of the week.
which is great because I know people that played D1 that because he was here for so short during the week that they didn't actually get to really visit him that much due to like work schedules or something like
He
that.
just doesn't have the same effect as he did back then.
Mhm,
Now
mhm.
it's just like, Xur.
Yeah.
Well, there's
All
Well,
right.
exotics were
there's
so much harder to find in Destiny
Sure.
1, especially like year 1 of Destiny 1. Xur had
Yeah.
real value because it was a real possibility that he had a item that you did not have.
Mhm.
That-
And you could
I
gamble
can't
on
imagine there's a whole lot of people out there that play Destiny on the regular at this point that don't have the exotics.
there's also that conversation that he should be somebody that offers you, that those exotic bounties, and that he has an inventory that is desirable, but that it also shouldn't be a ton of exotics available to you. Right now they have that faded engram, right? It's something like 90.
It's an investment just for legendary shards, basically.
Yeah.
Right. I would love to see that faded engram become a result of completing bounties for him.
That would be
You have
great.
to earn that. I don't like the idea of you just logging in and it seems like they're spoon feeding,
If you
exotics to us.
if you wonder why
It's felt like that since the Taken King.
Yeah,
I
if
don't like
you
it.
wonder why there's so many problems with the progression of Destiny 2, look at Xur. He shows up every single week. You get, 2, sometimes 3 new exotics from him every week until you're done.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 with
Yeah.
the faded engram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, assuming like you're a new player, you could get like something from each class, faded engram, boom, you get tons of exotics. Xur is, if you're a type of player that's going to play the game as a hobby, Xur makes it a very short hobby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
At
and
least
then
the
there's
current way that he works.
there's the argument that Xur, we are having this problem because we play the game a lot, and then the average player or the casual player isn't going to have those. They're not going to have all those resources to buy from Xur. My argument is, okay, so let's take a look at those players, but let's make it a little bit more interesting for them.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you have a bounty that you can get from Xur, then maybe he's around for a day or two, and then you have 2 weeks to complete that bounty. If you're a casual player, that's the ballpark that you should be shooting at to complete that exotic bounty. So the next time he comes around in 2 weeks, you can walk up to him and you could turn in that bounty, and it feels a sense of accomplishment, right? And the hardcore player maybe would be able to do it on all 3 of their characters that same 2 days and turn it in that week, right? I mean, just reward people for their investment, but I just don't like the idea of spoon feeding exotics. That's all.
Well, we never had since Fair Coins, right? We've been like, we don't like this. We want exotics to be meaningful. We want to have to work towards them. And if it's possible for Xur to have these exotic bounties, using this as a way to kind of give us some information about the 9 would be amazing, because the 9 seems so interesting, and within the actual game, we know nothing about it. It's all cloaked in mystery, which is great. I like mystery, but if we could have exotic bounties that kind of gave us a little bit of information as to what's going on there, that would be amazing. Get some 9 weapons. That would be
I
exciting.
would freaking love that.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's honestly
Your
how
face
I'd
just
love.
lit up.
Yeah, that's how I'd love Xur to be like an actual faction, essentially. Like he represents the 9s, like that.
Yeah.
He comes in and has a whole set of stuff, and then sure he has some exotics linked to him, but like he's such a cool character that gets watered down and towards the end of Destiny 1 and also D2 is just completely watered down. That he needs that,
He's not just a standard like human looking guy. Like he's
Right.
like got it all going on, like let's get something like behind that going.
Well, yeah,
That's how we
and-
feel about gear collections.
Right.
Next up in September is records. Records. I mean, it's one word, right? It's records. A lot of people are assuming this means record books.
I'm thinking vinyl.
Vinyl. We're gonna. The jukebox is coming back from the.
Right. So that's
He's
what
gonna
we're
bring a bunch of
We're
crates.
gonna get a jukebox.
We're
Spin
gonna
in
dig through the
records.
crates, and then okay, cool.
Yeah.
Dig it.
Record books never were exciting to me, guys. Like I never really cared about them. I did them because I played Destiny and they were there, but they were never that exciting. It felt like very much like a checklist that like didn't really reward me with much anything. Maybe like a ship or something, but I didn't care. Did you guys like the record books? Like, was it important to you?
I did.
I did. I really enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
I did. It gave me something to work towards, and I knew when that
I
was
like the
happening.
progression of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the progression of it. I didn't really complete the books, but like I still enjoyed the moments that I did have unlocking it and seeing what was in there and having a few things to
Do you
work
remember
towards.
these, Tefty?
Yeah.
The shirts.
Yeah.
These were part of the progression books, right?
Oh yeah, I did that
You
one
completed
because I
them?
wanted the shirts.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But like
You got
like the Rise
you
of Iron
completed
one,
it, and you got to put your name on
I don't
it.
think I don't think I hit max level in the Rise of Iron one, and it wasn't because like I wasn't interested. It was just because I was like, all right, well, there's a few things. Well, I guess it was because I wasn't interested in the end, but I was interested in the beginning parts. But I think it's a nice progression system.
They could polish it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, they could.
I like being able to see your rewards and earn them. I liked going out and doing stuff and knowing what you needed to do. As someone that would want to plan my week, I could plan ahead to do specific activities, knowing I needed to check them off the list. So to me,
Mm-hmm.
they were part of that knowledge. It makes me more powerful thing, and I would know exactly what I needed to do when I signed on. And it wasn't this like paralyzing sort of feeling when you log in and you're staring at the directory and you're kind of going, all right, what do I do? You know, like I see the milestones and they can give me some sort of direction, but I don't feel like I have the motivation to chase those things down. They're just words lined up, right?
There's no progression system behind them. Once you're powered up and you have all, once you've hit like basically max level or near it, the only reason to do those milestones is to get power engrams, right? And once that's no longer a carrot on a stick, there's really the weekly rewards or the weekly events are basically meaningless.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe seasonal vendor progression will help that, and bounties will help that, but we'll have to wait and see.
And I think they have a lot of room to grow with those bounties. I think bounties are the perfect level of reward tier for equipment mods and ammo mods. I think that if you have a specific bounty for a specific location, it can give you a cool mod for a weapon that allows you to be more successful in that area. And it will give you an opportunity to customize your weapon or armor more effectively for that area.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see them be meaningful in that way. Mods being one of the rewards that you could get. And then maybe in those bounties, an exotic mod would drop, or a higher tier mod could drop randomly that you could then go and complete to get that reward, right?
I like that idea as one particular avenue to get those things.
Yeah.
Right. I'd
Yes.
like to see
One
multiple
way.
avenues,
Right.
and that is one of them. Another avenue is by completing a very hard challenge like we did for the Black Spindle. Another avenue may be doing, grinding lost sectors. Another avenue may be the raid.
But
a variety
with
of
that,
different avenues that all have different rewards.
there you go. That's what I want, is the different rewards. I want ones that specifically drop from the raid, ones that specifically drop from the lost sectors, ones that specifically drop from public events, ones that drop from the bounties. Maybe some of them have some crossover here and there, but like having them in different spots to have reasons to go and do those activities at various times is what's important.
Yeah, I agree.
If you hear about it through the community that there's this great mod for your gun that does this thing that you really want, right? That everybody's talking about, you're gonna go and grind that.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna go do that, and that's.
But,
those are those reasons we want to play.
Look at everybody grinding the Nightfall this week.
Yep,
there's a great gun available from the Nightfall. I haven't gotten it yet. I've put about 12 hours into the Nightfall this week, which is 12 hours more than I've put in any other week since launch.
Mm-hmm.
You should try not sucking, because I just got it on my first run. Easy.
I'm
I got it on
trying
my
my
second.
hardest, but like the suck is really deep, man.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have it yet,
Pope.
Mr. Poper?
Do I have it? No, I don't. I have not had the opportunity to play it.
Oh, he's gonna get it first time.
Yeah.
You're
You're going to get it
Watch,
first time.
didn't you get it on your first run?
I got it on. I got it on my second.
second run, and I heard that Patrick, you got it on your first run.
First run.
Dirty.
Jesse, did you get it yet?
No. 8 hours later.
8 hours. Get on my level.
I did 4 on Tuesday and 4 on Wednesday, and still haven't seen it drop. I've seen it
Those are
drop
rookie
4
hours.
times, I believe.
Those are
Rookie hours.
Rookie hours, right? Yeah.
I did 10 minutes and got it. That's the pro
How do you
strat.
feel about that, Tefty? How do you feel about putting 8 hours and not getting anything?
Right now, with the current state of the game, I'm okay with it. I'm like, okay, I didn't get it. That means I still have a grind left. I still have a carrot to chase. It's not a great grind at all. It's the wrong grind that needs to be in the game, and I don't think it's going to be the thing that makes people flock back to the system. But it's
I
something.
wouldn't flock back for that.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that
Yeah.
that doesn't say to you, oh, great, I'm going to come back and get this one gun.
But it does reward the people that are playing right now.
And that's what I'm saying is that if you play right now and you want something to chase after, it's there, and that's great. I have found myself interested in playing it way more this week because I want a hand cannon that may or may not be better than my Midnight Coup. May or may not.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. Yeah.
As someone who happens to own Better Devils Midnight Coup and the DFA, DFA is a halfway point between like Better Devils and Midnight Coup.
Okay.
It's not.
Has anybody have we come to a consensus on what DFA stands for?
Down for anal?
Yeah.
Clearly.
Okay.
Clearly. I have no idea
All
what
right.
it stands for.
Sounds good enough to me.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
We know
Glad
where Brian's
figured it out,
mind is.
guys. We're on to it.
Yeah, I'm
let's
cool
go.
with it too. Anyway.
All right.
So what you just said, Pat, is once again what highlights the fundamental issue in Destiny 2 right now is that the
I'm
sandbox
down for anal? What?
that you're down for anal in the sandbox that is
Okay.
questionable at the moment. The sandbox is just not exciting. One of the best weapons that you can get from this Nightfall is a cross between a couple weapons you can already get in the game.
The only reason it's even worthwhile is because it has Rampage. Its reload speed, while okay, isn't really better than Better Devils. The range, not better than Better Devils. Stability, not better. So I'm just sitting.
Range is better
with
than Better
Rampage
Devils.
active, you can get with one stack of Rampage active, it becomes a 3-shot kill.
It does become a 3-tap, and that's when it gets exciting. But that just means I want 3-tap hand cannons.
There you
But
go.
there already
right?
are 3-tap hand cannons.
In Destiny
No,
1.
not like
There are, but they're
Yeah,
110
I
rate of
want-
fire.
they're 110
Sure.
rate of fire. I don't want 110 rate of fire to beat 3-tap. I want
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
I want the
3-tap.
150 rate of fire ones, like the Midnight
Okay.
Coup.
You wanted a little bit more fast-paced stuff. Okay.
That's the issue with the sandbox right now is that they made a really well-balanced, polished, boring sandbox. And where the best weapons are ones that are kind of exciting. You know? They're just kind of exciting. That's it, but the power to play Destiny is still exciting for people to want to chase after a gun like this, even though it's not going to be a game-changing experience once you get it. You still
It is a good gun, though.
Yeah.
And so was the sniper rifle from the first Nightfall. The Ghost was a bad reward. Nobody did that. I'd love to see the metrics for the Nightfalls over the last 3 weeks.
absolutely.
Like the player metrics, because oh my god, like I was grinding pretty hard for that sniper rifle, didn't get it. Didn't care about the Ghost, so I didn't play a Nightfall at all last week. This week I played 12 hours of Nightfalls looking for a hand cannon because I really want that hand cannon. I'd love to see it, and I do like that there's a grind. It reminds me a lot of the grind for what was the one that you got from Omnigul?
Yeah, Grasp of Malik. The Gom.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of the Grasp of Malik grind. The Grasp of Malik grind, you would get guns, like the gun would drop occasionally, but you were really only concerned about the roll that you wanted, so you just keep doing it until you got that roll. It very much reminds me of that. But I'm glad it's in the game. I do think it should be a strike reward, not a Nightfall reward, because I'm torn. I want to get this gun so I can go back to playing Rumble, which is only going to be here for a week. So, like, I'm stuck in the Nightfall trying to get this gun, but I want to be in Rumble because, there's only a few more days of Rumble before it goes away for a month.
It's true.
I think the problem with that Ghost was that it was too specific of a thing, and it's really not valuable right now as far as a reward. It was Banshee's favorite: generate gunsmith telemetry data on any elemental weapon kill. I think that at an increased rate. So I think that is an exotic perk if gunsmith rewards were valuable. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if the gunsmith was worth something, I'm sitting on 10,000 gunsmith parts or weapon parts.
Nice.
I mean, literally, I don't touch on.
I don't turn mine in. I just leave.
I
it
don't
now.
turn. It's sitting there
I
stacking
turned in
up.
a stack. I turned in a stack this week, trying to get a kinetic legendary mod, so I could actually level up my DFA to max level.
Wow.
So I mean, for me, it really doesn't have that value. I think that that's part of the problem, Briar, is that if the economy was a little different and we needed those things, that would be valuable, right? But it's just not. And I did like the lore of it. I am a collector and I want to get all of the exotic ghost. So for me to see it there, it was valuable. Maybe not for you, but for me as a player, the kind of player I am, I like to see stuff like that, and I like to read the lore, and I like to go after it. But I could see how Nightfall rewards should be a little bit more top tier as far as their need, and that's just the problem with it. It wasn't.
You know what it is? It's
useful.
I don't think it should be a Nightfall reward. I think it should be a strike reward. I think you should have a better chance like you did in Destiny 2 or Destiny 1 to get it in a Nightfall, but I think it should be a strike reward. So you can grind for it anytime you want. You don't necessarily, you can use matchmaking to grind for it. And you're not specifically set in this week. If you want a DFA, you have to get it this week, or you're fucked for 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
I actually don't mind the fact that it's like, hey, you can only get it this week because it's a Nightfall type of thing. But I think the problem is that it's once again it's a you either have it or you don't type of reward, and that's the fundamental issue with this stuff. Is that in D1 it was a random roll, so you can keep on grinding for more when they dropped.
But wasn't it still binary with that? I mean, you might have gotten the gun, but you didn't get the gun until you got the one with the roll you wanted.
Exactly.
Like you might have gotten 7 grasps, but you weren't done until you got the one with the roll you wanted.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it was like a pseudo on and off type of binary type of drop because of the random rolls, or it was like a 1 in 6 chance or something like that of getting the one that you wanted. But at least it added more possibilities. And if you didn't study the database things, you didn't know what was in there. So you kind of see what kind of roll dropped. Oh, I wonder what I got this time. You know, it added some interest right there. I would personally love it if the Nightfall rewards were quest lines that dropped. Like, let's get an exotic quest line from a rare drop from the Nightfall that then began a journey to get, like, you know, build the weapon frame, build the whatever parts. That's why I love to see it.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed spending time with people doing the grind. To be honest with you, it has been kind of fun to just like sit there with, you know, a couple of people and have pretty long, in-depth conversations about all sorts of stuff. I mean, we had like a 3-hour conversation about like Bungie's like development strategy. You know, like it was like crazy stuff. You know, you get into these like grind. I've been enjoying the grind. I know it's not perfect. It's better than what we had though before.
Same.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Same. Yeah.
It would be nice to see these types of rewards come out of. I don't know. We talked about this a little bit, and it got me thinking about it when we talked about the ghost and the gunsmith telemetries. It would be nice to see the Nightfalls coincide with like a vendor like the gunsmith, and where the gunsmith sends you off to do something, right? And then you get a chance to play you get a chance to do the activity and put together that gun, right? Get those parts.
I'm okay with some of that.
That's a more
stuff.
substantial grind.
I like some of that stuff, but I also like some stuff to be RNG. Like I'm okay with some stuff remaining RNG. If everything is a quest that takes, you know, there are steps on, and you know you're definitely gonna get the reward at the end of it. I like that kind of thing too. That's fine. But I like a mix. I don't want everything to be a specific quest line like the Mida multi-tool quest line is. I like some stuff to be RNG. Some stuff is just you feel lucky when you get it. You get the dopamine drop when it hits. You know, like I'm okay with a combination of these different ways of awarding players.
Yeah.
I guess, and it just speaks to the different type of players that play the game and the difficulty of designing a game for so many different play styles. I like to plan my time out, and I understand RNG is cool, but I also like to know what I'm going after, and I don't necessarily mind it being difficult to get, as long as I know where I'm going.
Well,
we had a mixture in D1, right? And some stuff was pure RNG, and then you also had exotic quest lines that you know what you were working towards. So I think it's totally fine to have a mixture. We can have those quest lines where we work towards stuff, but then have RNG as well. They've done it before. They can do it again.
Exactly. Yeah, I've said this in the past. I think the D2 right now is a great base to build on to add those RNG elements and those quest lines to make a really good end game, because then you can have people who can come in, jump in the game, get some stuff that makes them usable in strikes and in raids and Crucible and so on and so forth, but then have like the long tail grinds available for people who really want to invest time into the game and feel like they're making builds, because there's no builds really in D2. There's builds, but they're very light.
Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I haven't really come back to the game and, you know, been streaming it, because I just don't feel like I'm making much progress toward really anything.
Mm-hmm.
The things that I enjoy, you know. So it's sort of I'm hitting a wall with I want to come back, and I know there's so many other people like me that want to come back, but there's just nothing, like, no friction
Mm-hmm.
there.
At what point for you did it like cut off, where you were like, well, I think I'm moving away from this game?
For me, I would have to say Rise of Iron. That was like my first taste of disappointment, I think. But I still played it through that anyway. But Destiny 2, I guess I played through like the main story, and I was like, okay, what's next? And then there was nothing that really, like, you know, latched on to me and was like, this is what's next. Like, oh my goodness, I'm going to start doing this. It was sort of like just like a dead end for me, for fun, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that if there's no reason to hit max level, then people won't really care that much about getting to that carrot.
And then was it. Yeah, I was
Power
so,
doesn't
okay,
matter
what's
at
light
all in the
level?
game.
Well, we're going to
Yeah.
talk about that power a little bit later too.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we feel about record books. Next up on the September roadmap,
Right,
is weapon slot changes. Weapon slot changes are coming. There is literally 3 words describing them. It is weapon slot changes.
Yeah.
cool.
I assume that you guys will get some input on that when you go to the summit next week.
We better.
Yeah. I'll be
Yeah.
I'll be live tweeting from the presentation at the summit.
There's definitely some disappointment expressed in the community that I saw that this was in September and not in summer.
Yes.
But there it is. You know, weapon slot changes September. And then weapon randomization also coming in September.
That's cool.
It does not say random rolls. It says weapon randomization. Again,
What does that mean?
that's anybody's
It can
guess.
mean
I
a lot
assume, again, that you
Let's
guys will be
let's
talking about that at the
wildly
summit.
assume.
I'm hoping that it means that, I don't even know, man. Like, it could mean random rolls. It could not mean random rolls.
I
Weapon
don't.
randomization.
I do not believe random rolls are coming back to Destiny ever. The entirety of the franchise. I'll just give that a global statement right now, because that is how certain I am of that fact.
So what do you think weapon randomization means then?
I think weapon randomization means we're still going to get the fixed. We're still going to get like the fixed perks, but weapon randomization could also incorporate the mod system in some way, which I'm hoping. This is the idea that I threw out on stream. It's just how weapon randomization could work in my head. Okay, you get a better Devils to drop, and this one doesn't have a mod slot. Oh crap. Well, I got another better Devils to drop. Oh, this one had a mod slot. It's a tier 1 mod slot. Cool. I can put a tier 1 mob in here, or tier 1 mod in here. Great.
Interesting.
Oh, maybe a tier 2 one dropped from a slightly harder activity. I'm just
Or one with two tier 1 mods.
spitballing here. Tier 2 mod slot could drop on it, up to like a tier 3 mod slot. And you could put mods would have like, this is the Dragonfly mod. It gives Dragonfly perk. You would have a tier 1 Dragonfly mod that could deal, 10%, whatever. It's the one that we have now. And then it could go all the way up to tier 3, where tier 3 would be a much larger explosion with more damage, but that would only drop in harder activities. Something like that.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. My train of thought is a very fragile thing. I need you to shut up.
No, I need more. I need
anyway.
more.
I'm done. It's
I like that, Holtzman. I think that's a cool idea. Like, I would like to at some point get to a place where we get the base weapon and then we modify it, right, based on how we want to play with it. But I'm concerned that there's going to be always the best mods, right? Explosive rounds is the best mod. That's the mod that you're going to put on every fucking gun that you like. There's no reason to do something else. Or fire or Dragonfly is the best mod for PvE, and explosive rounds is the best mod for PvP, and that's you just farm those mods. Every gun that you have, you look for the weapon with the best base stats, and then you know what I mean?
But that's okay though. I mean, there's always going to be a meta. If there's no meta, then it gets boring. There's always going to be something that's like, this is the peak, this is the riffraff, and here's the throwaways. Like,
there's always going to be the best thing. I know you hate me talking about Magic, but I think it's a very fair point that there's a format that has literally every single card ever played, which is a lot at this point. Something like 50, 60,000 different cards. And there's still only going to be about maybe 600 to 1,000 of them used.
What I like about your system, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's just how systems work. If you are the type of player that's wanting to use the best thing, you will always use the best thing because that's what you value.
Yeah.
But if you don't care about that, then you get to use the entire
What
system.
I also like about your system though is by having like randomly the weapon drops randomly with mod slots, is that they're literally fulfilling that promise of your 11th better doubles may be more exciting than your 5th one.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
And let's also say that those drops are that mod is maybe a cost to change it or delete it or to upgrade it, or maybe it stays permanent once you choose a mod for it.
That could be, right?
But
you
then
could have two better doubles that have different mods on it.
But then let's also talk about what happens when they do sandbox updates to more frequently. Let's just say that they have seasons and the sandbox updates go along with those, where you're now looking at maybe that better devils or that pulse rifle or that gun that was not so great now being meta now, and having to go hunt and grind for that and having everything new again every 3 months or 2 months.
Or imagine the next DLC, they introduce 10 new mods, and one of those mods is like, oh shit, this is the new mod that I want on my Better Devils, so now I got to grind for Better Devils and the new mod, even though I already have a Better Devils.
Yeah, and again, people who only have a little bit of time, they still got the gun, they can still perform the activities, it's fine, but the people who want to spend a lot of time can go and hunt these things down and match them up. I'd love it for them to take it even a little bit further to have a lot more percentage variances in there as well, or maybe like some sort of synchronicity type of thing where a mod drops where it's like a 10% base damage type of thing for whatever the skill is on the mod, and then if it is matched up with say like a Hake or a Omelon type of weapon, it gets like an additional bump, an additional 5% increase or something like that if it's like synchronized with the manufacturer. I love systems like that to where it feels like there's little bits adding on top of each other that can make like something that feels like a build in a weapon in your armor.
Small pieces adding into a big change, right?
Yeah.
Like, by really looking at each mod I put on this gun in depth and my build, I can make something that really feels powerful.
Exactly.
That makes
more
a
control.
Yeah.
It's like they've been saying over it, like they said with in regards to weapon slots, they're saying that they want to give us more control over how we play. I think just apply that to everything. We want more control over who we are as a player, what builds we make, what armor we use, what guns we use. Like just
what
just
my facial hair is.
Yes, Beans.
Specifically, yeah. 100%. Yeah.
I mean,
I like that idea a lot.
Maybe.
Yeah, I would love to see a system somewhat like that for Mods 2.0. Warframe has a fantastic mod system. It brings people back to the game. There is no random rolls when it comes to guns because the gun drops. You have to invest some time into the gun to level it up, and then you can fully express all the mod slots. And if you want to configure the mods, like in Warframe, they have the mod slots set to a type of affinity to it, to where if you want to use types of mods in a particular slot, you either have to spend a currency to adjust it to that type that you want, or you have to put in a different slot, and so on and so forth. So you can really put a lot of time into a weapon in Warframe to build it out to the way you want. And again, there is a meta, 100%. There's people who've discovered the absolute top possible damage output versions of weapons, because that's what happens when you have a very passionate community that wants to discover the upper echelon of what can be done. but that's great because that means then you can go and chase for that. So
Yeah.
polarities,
I love
that's
that.
what it is. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the TWAB a little bit?
Yes, because
What?
there's a cool section in here about power levels in PvP or PvE.
First, let's talk about that picture that we got, right?
Yep, it's in 4K.
It is beautiful.
Oh, the
Beautiful.
Warmind
The
picture.
Warmind flipping us off.
Yeah.
That one.
The quad birdie. The Warmind
F
just
at
sitting,
Warmind.
seeing
The effing Warmind.
the effing Warmind. He is he doesn't look happy. That picture to me says that he's pissed.
I like it.
I think
I
war
like
minds,
pissed off to
since
be
they are a
dead.
mind of war, are probably always in a state of eternal being pissed.
I mean, if I was a Warmind and I had to like partially destroy myself to protect humans from being stupid, right?
I think that's called being an artist, Pope. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
It's okay. The Warmind, I see this. I see, missile defense system or missile. What are those air guns? Pointing up in the air. The
Those are middle
Warmind.
fingers, Pope.
Mhm.
The middle fingers are pointed up to the sky. So some of the things that I saw is traditionally we're used to seeing the Warminds in their bunkers, right, buried. And in this case, we're seeing the Warmind above ground. And what does the location look like to you? Where does
Mars.
the Warmind-
Mars.
It's Mars. Looks like Mars.
I see
I
Mars.
just want to have a conversation with you guys. If you
I
want to
don't
just
know. There's
tell
like
people,
it looks cold. A
Yeah,
little
there's
bit.
northern area of Mars, or possibly southern. I don't know. Polar
A
ice
pole,
caps.
definitely.
Mhm.
Not the equator of Mars.
Not the equator.
So do you think we're gonna have to? I don't know. We're gonna have to activate this Warmind. Do you guys think it's Charlemagne or does he? It's
I
not
think
Rasputin
It's
then.
cold. We're gonna have to get ice skates because
Summer event.
instead of
This is what happens when you try to have a lore conversation on this podcast. All of a
Exactly.
sudden, it's people with ice skates.
yes,
And the war mind's pissed because it's a war mind.
Because it's cold.
Right.
Because it's
Oh.
And he doesn't
Warmind.
have his ice skates.
Yeah.
And he's mad
He's
because,
flipping everybody off. It's been a rough day.
Global
look at him.
warming.
He's angry.
Darkness is coming at him.
Anyway, I think it's cool because we're going to get to explore Warmind that it looks like it hasn't been attacked or destroyed. Most of the Warmind bunkers that we've been to have been in some sort of disrepair or dysfunctional or being attacked or invaded already by Siva or the Fallen or something.
How much
So it
Siva?
looks a lot like,
How much
What's
Siva
that?
do you think we're
Yeah.
getting?
we're getting Siva up the
Yeah?
So,
Yeah.
well, I mean, if you look
Siva's
at that picture,
DFA?
you don't see red, but
Siva
you don't
DFA.
see, you
That's
don't
the
see
title.
like the Siva vines that you saw in
True.
Rise of Iron.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You don't see like the infection
That'd be like
of
the
Siva
dead giveaway,
around
though.
everything. That would be for sure, but I mean, you just don't see it.
So,
I mean,
well, remember how they had hints of Siva before launching D2 and then they removed them?
yeah,
I mean, it's quite possible they were like, okay, we need to save this for the Warmind DLC.
maybe.
Yeah.
well.
I mean, there's definitely red there. I mean, and that color of red specifically does
It
remind you of Siva.
gets really Siva'd up in here.
Wasn't Siva acting the way it was because of the Fallen?
Siva is whatever you want it to be, man.
Right, that's what I'm
So
saying. The
Diva?
Fallen
So
tried
now
to.
we're getting Siva Hive.
But Siva
Ooh,
also
that'd be
but
awesome.
Siva also was like that red glowy whatever before that too. If you look at the cutscene, it's
Right, I remember it.
Yeah, it was red and
Right,
glowy
so
there, too.
so we're maybe seeing a unspoiled Warmind in their pure Siva form, and the constructs. I'm holding out, and maybe I'm just silly about this, but I'm holding out for a Warmind that creates unique constructs that we have to fight.
Hey, you know what'd be awesome? Is if the Warmind lets us access to a dungeon that we can grind for the summer.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
I like
You go
that.
into the Warmind and it's
The
like,
war mind.
go solve this crap.
Yeah, no, it gives us training routines because it knows it's
Ultra
trying
love
to
it.
train us for
I love
war.
it.
There we
Maybe
go.
Like endless waves of enemy, almost like a horde of enemies.
Oh,
But
coming
not
at you.
like
Oh.
All right.
but not like Poe. Something with
What?
actual randomizing stuff. Like I want randomized environments.
What if that sphere at the end is a servitor? Just one. It could be. It's covering the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
A Siva
I
servitor,
don't know.
a pure
Mhm.
Siva servitor, instead of like the
Pure.
hybrids that we got.
Pure
Mhm.
Siva.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
Got you thinking?
Definitely interesting. I want us to have to uncrack that to get in, like some
That's
sort
what I'm
of
saying.
puzzle.
I want to spelunk through the warbind.
And
Warmind.
if
I wonder if there's an
Rasputin,
Outbreak Prime inside of that thing.
Please, let's have it. I need it back.
Let's
If
break it
Rasputin-
open and find out.
if Rasputin was into classical music,
He
is
is-
Charlemagne going to be a punk rocker? I mean, what are we?
I'm
What
thinking
are we going to
early 80s rap.
Glam
I'm
rock?
gonna go
maybe?
with 70s funk.
70s funk.
Charlemagne.
I like it.
Charlemagne? No, he's gonna be. He's K-pop.
Oh,
Hey guys,
even
the
better.
game's gonna get harder soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watch, who's
Especially if
responsible
there's
for this
K-pop.
travesty?
That would be someone I know quite well. He's always trying to make things harder. They're always trying to reel him in. Say no, it's too hard. But now he has been giving some rain to make things a little bit more difficult.
Sweet.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Yay! So what are we talking about here?
So Tomo got into the TWAB and he's talking about ultimate power and how he is currently going to change the way power levels work in Destiny 2, and it will ultimately make high-end content a little bit harder, right?
Okay.
Mhm.
I cannot summarize this.
Okay, I got it. I got you.
Okay.
So right now, there's only about 40 to 45 levels of power level difference where it actually matters for us. You know that because you can change the Nightfall to a 45 level power handicap where you are doing basically nothing and you're getting destroyed. They're going to extend that to a 50 power level difference. That gives them a lot more room to play with how hard an enemy can be for us to kill. Instead of it just being like, remember how in D1 how we had Forever 29 and you could never do max damage?
Yeah.
Because you were 2 light levels below max.
It was
Mhm.
it was a big difference too. One
Yes.
light level
Yeah.
was a big difference,
It-
not
it
only
was
in
like
how
a-
much
it was like
damage
a
you dealt,
30
but how much damage you took.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like a 30% difference. It was kind of
big.
rough. So this gives them much more room to actually, you know, make an enemy slightly harder, slightly easier. More numbers means more room for designers to do their thing. In addition to that, they're changing the way shields actually work. Oh, yeah, sorry. One other thing. When a combatant it actually has more than 50 power levels over you, it's going to show as a question mark, which
I
you
love
guys
that.
probably haven't seen at all in the game. If you just did the story as you were like just did the story, you never saw it. You absolutely never saw it.
Yep.
The only people who might have seen it were ones that like, you know, kind of hung around, maybe went exploring, but the game didn't exactly lead you to doing that much. It kept you on a pretty tight leash for the most part. So yeah, you're going to be able to see question marks if you are actually 50 power levels below the mob that you're facing. I kind of like that because it adds a little bit of mystery to things. Everyone remembers if we were playing since the original. You remember, you know, the ogres and the knights in the beta.
I remember. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You walked in and you're like,
Oh
Whoa.
my God, what is this?
I'm not
And they
ready.
one shot you.
I'll
Or
come
you
back
can
later.
even jump into Iron Banner as a new character and see
Yeah.
everybody on the other team as question marks.
As question mark.
Yep.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah, no, I like that. That's really cool. It adds like a sense of mystery. Another thing they're changing are the way we combat shields. Right now, you only get a 2. If you're using an energy weapon against a shield, no matter the type of energy weapon that you're using against a shield, you will get a 2x multiplier, I believe. And then if you match the shield, it'll explode, deal damage. Now, if you match the shield correctly, you'll be doing 3 times damage to that shield.
Nice.
So you're going to see a larger benefit from it. If you're still using an energy weapon, you will still get the 2x. So it's not going to be worse for you if you're not matching the element. However, this type of change also is going to allow them to bring back in match game. So you're going to be able to select that as a prestige Nightfall modifier. So more points for players that are wanting to try to get it, but it will make loadouts a lot more difficult to use. It's not just going to be set it on void tinge, do void tinge weapons, we're done.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
You're actually going to have to plan stuff out a little bit more. So I like that. Again, it's going to be really interesting to see how people kind of how we adapt as players to that.
Patrick, will you explain that? Will you explain that mod? That what you referred to?
So match game is a shield modifier where if you are dealing damage to a shielded enemy and you do not have the correct element, you are going to deal reduced damage to that shield. So you're not going to be getting 2x, you'll be getting like 1.8, 1.9.
So as you're building a team together to do some PvE
you're
content,
going to want to have
you're going to want to have a very, and you have to communicate and say, hey, the solar shield.
We got solar shields coming up. The guy, you go do your thing. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's gonna create a little bit more interesting scenarios.
Or gal.
However, this is just a modifier that you will be able to put on. It's not something that is just gonna show up randomly, because that always sucked. It's just to have match game in like D1. It was never really fun when it actually showed up. This, since we're getting to choose it,
Right.
I personally like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Did you guys understand the
Yeah,
things
that was
Yeah.
very well.
Things are getting
Yeah.
harder. Woo.
Well
Yeah, you
said.
nailed it.
Nailed it.
It's getting harder, but it's also going to give us the tools to deal with it.
Right.
Guns
Which is
that
cool.
we have that allow us to change the burn are going to become extremely
hard light?
Or just hard light on most platforms that are not Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
What's that other one?
PS4 has the sniper rifle.
Borealis.
Yeah.
Borealis. But they did say in I think Cosmos said it in one of the posts, hard light will be getting changed to basically to be the same way Borealis is.
Yeah.
We'll be able to like hold down
Change it on the
reload
fly.
to change it on the fly,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
that's going to be valuable.
hard light's going to be
Really
pretty
good.
valuable.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Hardlight's not bad.
It's not bad now.
It's not bad. I still hate
Yeah.
the screen shake of it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want to talk about the charity fundraisers that they're doing? They got a couple of
Yeah.
them going on. There are some pretty dope rewards if you want to participate, like real dope, like trips to Bungie, chances to play with Bungie developers, custom pictures of you. Some really cool stuff in here.
Can I read the first part? Right.
Yeah.
So Bungie is celebrating its 7th anniversary of supporting families at the Seattle Ronald McDonald House. I want to tell you from the work that I do that this is extremely important work. The Ronald McDonald House, well, I'll explain it in a second. This is a charity that I've been supporting for years. It got into it mainly because of the Bungie Foundation, but through their annual Men in Kilts fundraiser, as you all know, 7 is a big deal to us, so we're planning on going all out this year with a giant goal of $77,000. Help us achieve our goal and cast your vote for Team Bungie by donating $10 or more. Every $30 donation will pay for a family to stay at the house for one night. Head to the Ronald McDonald donation page to cast your votes by Friday, April 27th. And this is extremely, valuable stuff. Homeless people, it gives people a place to live.
Yep.
And there's a lot of different circumstances that put people in that position. And I'm sorry. There is the Ronald McDonald House in Seattle gives 28,000 nights of housing a year for families with children receiving treatment at the Seattle Children's Hospital. There's another program affecting here.
Well, that's the first one, right? There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the first one. So not only are you helping out the Ronald McDonald House, but you're also you're like per donation. Like if you donate $50, you get high resolution digital Destiny 2 concept art. If you donate $100, you get a postcard shipped to you signed by the MIK team. If you do $1,000, you get all the prizes above plus participation in a Bungie Studios visit with you and a guest. There's really cool stuff here. So they're really going to be working hard to incentivize, raising that $77,000 for Seattle Ronald McDonald House. which is awesome. And then there's another one happening for the Wellspring Family Services
There it is.
with similar types of rewards again. So it's definitely worth checking out the TWAB this week. And even if you got $10 to spare, you put it into a good cause even without the rewards.
Definitely.
Also, if you like playing board games and you think you're better than people at Bungie, if you donate $1,000, you will be able to, you and up to 12 of your friends will be invited to participate against other donors who contribute over $1,000. It'll be at the pentathlon. So you basically get to be part of something that's a Bungie only thing.
The pentathlon is something that I remember back from the Bungie Halo days, of something that I used to love watching in their they had internal live stream cameras that were positioned around the studio that were active during the pentathlon. And you could watch the studio competing in in-house competitions. They do like Dance Dance Revolution. They do like just all these different silly games. And they compete by, am I thinking of the right one?
Yes.
All right.
The,
So they
the
compete
grizzled
by
ancients versus newcomers. Versus
how long they've been working at Bungie.
Yeah.
They have grizzled agents and all these different chunks, right?
Yeah.
But it's a really great charity. Take a look at it. The link is going to be in the description, and if you can contribute, please do. Remember that a ton of the work that Bungie does through the Bungie Foundation supports not only these two charities, but also charities that help support from disasters to, I mean, it's crazy. It's really great to check out. I think you get the heart emblem.
I didn't see any mention of an emblem
Okay.
this particular time through.
Okay. So normally they might add it. I'm not sure, but we'll have to take a look. But they're often when you donate to the Bungie Foundation, you get a heart in-game heart emblem. I'll see if it's part of this, but it's really cool. That's one of my favorite emblems for in-game.
You guys want to do some Twitter questions?
Iron Banner got delayed.
Iron Banner's actually coming back.
Next
Yeah.
week.
Yay!
Next week.
6v6.
Awesome.
6v6 control.
6v6.
Excited about it.
Control.
Control. And all the weapons will be in the loot pool.
Cool.
Right?
Yep. So it's no longer, so all of them will be available. I'm excited to see 6v6 in this meta and how it plays out.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see for sure. Let's do some Twitter questions. First question is from Emily Wu for Lori. What do you miss the most about New Zealand?
Okay, apart from my family, because that's given, pies.
Pies?
Pies. So when I say pie, what comes to mind for you guys?
Cherry pie.
I know exactly what you're talking about. They're delicious.
I think of cherry pie.
The
You think of cherry pie? Okay.
Mhm.
No, it's the meat pies. You can get them at a
Yes!
gas station. They're great.
Yes, we've got like a ton of bakeries. You guys don't really have bakeries here, which is like like pastry, sort of savory kind of foods. And you can get like a pie from like corner stores, from bakeries, from supermarkets, like everywhere. They've got like butter chicken pies, steak and cheese pies, like
Sounds delicious.
you name it. It's like it's in like
they are
pastry. It's so good.
Remember,
So
you
I
must
miss
always
their-
blow on the pie.
Yes, because it's so hot.
That
Yeah.
meme.
Yeah, it is. It's true.
That
So
sounds
yeah, I miss
really good.
that for sure.
It-
I can make pies at home. I'm just lazy, so
It's always better if you could just go and be like, "Oh, I'll take a pie real quick." You know, it's like a taco stand, right?
It's like a little small personal pie about that.
Personal pie.
It's like perfect amount of food.
Is it like a pot
Yeah.
pie?
Yeah, it's like a pot pie, but
it's yeah.
more,
It's
more,
the pastry. The pastry's a bit different because it covers the entire pie, so it's not just the top. It's
Mhm.
Oh, it's encased in deliciousness. Got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Next question. So next question is kind of two questions at once. It's by two
Okay.
people. It was kind of a thread of questions, but I thought it was interesting, so I just wanted to do them both. Trigger Blade asked, in the recently released roadmap, the words weapon randomization was shown in September. Besides random rolls, what else do you think it could be? And then Jonathan A. had a follow-up that said, They mentioned in the blog post the redone mod system is somehow tied to the weapon randomization. So as a follow-up question, what are everyone's ideas for what that might be? We talked about that a little bit, but it is worth noting that Mods 2.0 has kind of like disappeared and is now kind of, it's been kind of added to weapon randomization. So we'll see, right? We'll see.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. I want the weapon system to expand. I want the loot system to be an interesting chase again. And that sounds anything right now towards development of that. It sounds interesting to me.
We also have a sponsor this week. Pope Bear, you're muted. I almost preferred this way.
That hurts.
I'm kidding,
my feelings.
Pope. I love you.
Briar, I was going to ask you about expanding, and I'm sitting here on my computer, and I've been playing Destiny 2, right, and other games, but I want to expand my offerings. I want to expand the games I want to play, but I'm not sure how to do that.
On your PC?
I'm not sure how to get the performance that I need to play other games.
Maybe you want to start playing on PC, and you can buy one from On Air PC. Good Lord, this is going to be rough.
That's the best I can do.
It's like,
we have a new sponsor, On Air
this is
PC.
the
We're very
pitch.
pleased to bring them on board. Very pleased to bring On Air PC on board. If you are looking for a PC, if you're a streamer, if you are new to PC gaming, here's what On Air PC offers you. They offer you customized service. They offer you a phone number that you call and you talk to a professional who can help you through the build process. They can help you part out what you need. They can give you recommendations as to, do you want to stream? Do you just want to play games? Do you want to stream and game from the same PC? On Air PC can help you with that. It's not just going to a website and being presented with a bunch of random options. Like, here's 7 motherboards and they're ranked from good, better, best with all different prices, but you have no idea what you actually need. The difference here is that On Air PC, you call him up, he can help you through that. He can tell you what processor you need, how much RAM you need.
Right.
He can ship you the PC.
Do I need to know everything about? Do I need to know everything about computers to call On Air PC? Do I need to be an expert in computers? Like, can someone like me who knows nothing about computers but just wants a machine that can play any game? Do I need to know what I need to order?
No, absolutely not. You can just call them up, know what you want to do, and they'll help you with the equipment you need to do it.
Interesting. So what if I don't really care about what's in it, but I want it to look super dope? Can they do that?
Absolutely not. No way.
No way. I want flashy lights, and I want like
water-cooled PCs. They'll do
those
air-cooled
tubes
PCs
that make it look really cool, right? And then so I can snap a photo and put it on Twitter, and everybody goes, "Ooh!" Right? Can they do that?
Yeah.
Question.
They won't even put a logo on it, so you can say you built it yourself.
Ooh.
Question.
Yes.
I don't want to ever hear any more shit from not being able to properly segue ad reads.
I think that was. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not
that
gonna
was
lie.
excellent.
There's been many years of very shitty ad reads. I think we've got a lot of work to do.
There's some catch
I
up.
don't know, man.
There's some catch up to do.
I think we did a good job. On Air PC helped me out. Took a guy that knows nothing about PCs and got me the rig I needed, and it came professionally packed and delivered. Love the thing. It's beautiful. And they're going to be part of our team for all the way up until Guardian Con, in which they are going to be raffling off. We are going to be raffling off a PC at Guardian Con that is going to be a beautiful streaming PC that you guys are going to want to make sure that you do get. I'm sorry, I don't want to ruin anything. We have some special thing planned at Guardian Con that will allow you to have a chance to win that PC. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow.
It
Yeah, check them out
involves eating
at
Pope's
On Air PC, on-airpc.com. They also are going to have special DCP themed PCs.
Nice.
Oh.
If you order a machine from them, and you tell them about that you heard about them from DCP, you will get a free copy of Destiny 2 on PC or any equivalent game that you would like. So you get your first game for free, loaded onto the machine, delivered to you, ready to go.
Thank you to On Air PC for the sponsorship, and let's get back to Twitter questions.
Sweet.
Yes.
Next up, Torchy says, with PvE players far outweighing PvPers, should Bungie throw balance out the window and prioritize fulfilling our power fantasy?
I think they should split PvE and PvP and make us crazy powerful in PvE and make things really dumb and insane and then leave the balance for PvP.
Yep. Seriously. Problem solved.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
there you go.
The Man of Way 87 says, a serious question about ranked play next month. Do you think exotics should be available for ranked play? I personally don't think they should be allowed. I think it's a solid community question. Well, you have a high opinion of your own question.
Wow. So I wanted to get this one in here because I do actually think it is an interesting question.
Wait. Hold on, Patrick. Give me a second.
Wait. Was this written by Patrick?
Pope's doing something. I'm not going to give him the time of day. So we have, if you look at like D1, we had, the community basically soft ban exotics for a while, or for the entirety for actual competitive PvP.
Right.
So just to answer the question, no, I don't think they should ban exotics because there aren't really any outliers right now that are like really, egregious. But I don't know. It is something that people might end up wanting. Like, what if that was a requirement for being able to queue in? You couldn't actually have an exotic equipped. I don't know. It might make it more emphasizing skill and whatever abilities that you choose. But at the same time, that would be the only place that they've ever done that in the game.
I don't like this idea. I never liked that the tournaments did it either. Because
yeah, I agree.
The tournament, like, part of a tournament is like an expression of skill and showing who is the best Destiny player. But there's another part of the tournament which is viewing the tournament and watching a sporting event.
Mm-hmm.
And to take things out of that sporting event that are some of the most fun things about the game, I think really hurts like the watchability, the viewability of that kind of thing. So no, I don't support that kind of thing. Like, I think they should, balance the game, but allow exotics into ranked play.
Yeah.
Well, luckily for you guys, it's not going to be a ranked playlist, so you don't have to worry about it.
Good point.
Was it Valor and Virtue or something like that?
Yeah.
That you earn? Yeah.
Truth and Reconciliation or something like that.
No, the name of the stuff that you get in game. It's like,
I know.
Your elo is like Virtue, and Valor is like how much you've like spent in it or something.
Yeah.
Played.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, everyone actually act like we've been waiting for Pope the entire time.
Okay.
Team Nasu says,
No,
do you
wait.
think having
Pope,
having
what were you
set
doing? We've
roles
been
work
waiting
for-
this whole time. Pope Bear.
Oh,
Yeah, we
yeah, I
paused.
just wanted to
We paused this.
You
keep
told us to wait.
Patrick on hold.
Well, thanks.
Unacceptable.
Team
Oh,
Nasu
now I'm
says, do you
jealous.
think having set roles work for harder to acquire weapons like the Nightfall? I have seen people run the Nightfall 20 plus times and still no luck. Love the show and the Let's Plays.
Sorry, what was the first part of the question?
Do you think having set roles work for harder to acquire weapons of the Nightfall?
Oh, so like if it takes you, say, 50 runs to get the weapon, you don't want it to drop and have a really crappy roll on it. So having fixed rolls for this kind of stuff, they're saying, do you think that makes more sense?
Yeah.
Because when it drops, you're like, oh, I got the thing that I wanted.
Yeah, super hard. If they do
Super hard.
randomizations, they need to up the drop rate, maybe.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, they need to way up the drop rate.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's a perfect system. I know people are upset. I know Wilson is very upset about it.
We've lost
but-
Wilson.
Yeah, right. This was the straw that broke Wilson's back. But I do like having a grind, to be honest with you. And even though I am not like on the kind in being blessed by RNG, it has given me something to do this week that was not available to me a month ago. Mercy's a jerk. All of the games that Destiny players have gone to are high skill ceiling games like Fortnite, PUBG, etc. With the summit in mind, what would your first change be to increase the skill ceiling?
In-air accuracy.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna say at the summit. In-air accuracy.
Just wear, get a
put it
t-shirt.
on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
T-shirt and a hat. I'll do
And a
that.
hat.
In-air accuracy.
Yeah, I think you have. I think you have 3 people here that are definitely on the same page, and we'll make sure to echo that. I think the skill ceiling needs to be upped in definitely in PvP. I believe it needs to. And I especially believe in the competitive playlist.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to the summit. If I was going to the summit, though, like one of my concerns would not be about specific individual changes like in-air accuracy, but about what is the goal of the design team for Destiny right now, or the live team for Destiny right now. Like, are we on the same page? Are the people on this podcast, are players on the same page as the people who are designing Destiny? Do we have the same goals in mind? Do we want the same game at the end of the road? That's one of the questions I'd really have about going there.
That's one of the really good things about this type of thing is I don't just want to be like, here's what I want, blah, 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 listen to me. I want to be like, wait a second. What's your design philosophy right now for like skill gap? How do you feel about that? Do you want it to be small? Do you want it to be bigger? Are you like interested in making it a bigger skill gap? So yeah, I agree, Briar. I want to ask those questions.
Right.
As well.
We've heard Derek Carroll say he doesn't want a big skill gap, right? He wants everybody winning 50% of their matches.
That was back in D1, right?
True.
That was like in regards to matchmaking.
True. Is that? I mean, has that changed? Do we know?
I have no idea.
I think
we need to ask.
I think those are good questions, but I with Holtzman, that's sort of different conversation because 50% of matches was how they did matchmaking, and then you can still have a high skill gap gameplay and still try to attain that 50%.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, Pope, but I left the initial question behind and was more asking, like, for instance, if the community wants to go, in one direction with very high skill gaps in PvP and PvE and very hard difficulty and lots of stuff to grind for, but Bungie wants to go toward a spot where the game is very accessible to new players and very fun for a month, but then you move on and play.
They've already
God of
succeeded
War
then.
right after that, right? Like if we've got 2 different destinations in mind,
Sure,
every turn along the path to that destination is going to be wrong in the player's eye, right? Because like you're constantly saying, no, like Bungie's driving to Wendy's, but you want to go to McDonald's, and every turn they're driving toward Wendy's, and every turn you're saying, no, fucking McDonald's is that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely.
So
Thank you for not saying Taco Bell.
If those goals, like if that destination isn't the same, if the players and the company making the game don't have the same destination in mind, you're always going to see decisions that baffle you.
I think that's always why when it comes to giving feedback, I like to sit down and think about, okay, so what is it that I want? And I can get into the specifics and all that stuff, but ultimately, what does that mean in terms of a design goal? Like, for example, they had all of this past update is about going fast. Well, what's our next design philosophy for stuff? What's our goal for what we're trying to do? So I try and put my feedback into, okay, well, I want a larger skill gap. You guys can figure out, you're the designers, you're the developers, you figure out how to do that, but that's what I want. Do you also want the same thing? So I think it's definitely good to see if you're on the same page.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, it will just be in a total different place if you're not anywhere near the same page as each other.
Wade says, sup DCP crew, to those of you that are going to the Bungie Summit, if you could each ask one question and get an honest yes or no answer from Bungie, what would you ask? I'm going to open this up to everybody, not just people are going.
An honest yes or no answer?
Honest yes or no answer. It's got to be a question that can be answered by yes or no.
Oh boy.
My question is like, is the game more of an RPG or more of an FPS? Like that's the question that I want to ask everyone.
I feel like they've answered that in the past. They want it to be more of an FPS.
But I think they're changing their minds on a lot of things they've said.
The player response was very dramatic to that.
Yeah.
I don't think they like seeing their numbers drop. Right?
Yes or no?
I mean, that's a good one. Just like, do you want the game to be more RPG than it currently is?
Sure. Yeah. There you go. Thanks, Watts.
Is the game?
Will the game
going
become
in the direction of RPG?
Yeah, I'd probably like ask them something about dedicated servers, but you can't really put that in a yes or no context. You know?
Will you have dedicated servers?
No.
And then you're like, okay.
Yeah, right.
Is the studio committed to improving Destiny 2, or is the focus on Destiny 3?
That's gonna be
Yes or no?
That's gonna be a yes or no, but
Yeah.
Is the
Well, I
majority
think-
of the studio dedicated to fixing Destiny 2? Question mark.
Maybe they're
Very-
testing the grounds before Destiny 3. I don't know. I guess either way, they don't have a choice in the matter, but
Is Destiny 3 coming out in 2019?
Oh.
There you go.
yeah.
I like it better. I dig it.
Battlestar Play says, would you guys like a return to having to level up your weapons and armor to unlock perks, or possibly having to farm different activities for certain parts for them?
I'm okay with doing different activities to get certain. I don't want to go back to the Destiny 1 system where you get this new piece of loot. And now I got to actually like level it up just to unlock hipfire perk on it or something. I like the current thing of I get a weapon, I can use it now, and I can see the difference between a different weapon that I have. I like that about our current system, and also at least when they finally let us do modes of light to level up stuff. Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. Like I also don't prefer to just get like a base level gun that has no intrinsic properties aside from stats.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's better to have like these guns drop like they are right now and then add on to it later. Like I really feel like the system is in place. It just needs a whole layer of end game added on top that would make players excited about it. Because again, the weapons, they're weapons right now, but we need the mods. We need the mods to make some interesting builds.
Yeah, I can't say I really want to go back to Destiny 1. I mean, I didn't mind it so much in vanilla, but when I had to redo everything in Dark Below, that's when I was like, okay, I don't like this. So I don't really want to go back to the weapon bubble and filling them in with experience. And the Motes of Light thing was meaningless,
It was a
basically.
shortcut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally a shortcut,
So-
yeah.
I don't really want to go back to the bubbles. I wouldn't mind, having to farm for perks and for mods.
Mhm.
I think that'd be really cool. And then I can augment the gun that dropped, with those things. Like if I could go and grind for a grip that gives me better stability, or if I could go grind for, a sight that I want for a specific gun, that'd be great. Like you could really modify you could take a sniper rifle and put the exact sight you want on it, and you can put the exact stock you want on it for, better stability, or the exact barrel you want on it. Like there's all sorts of cool stuff you could do to these guns. It's not like uncharted territory. It's in other games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jizzy Pants says, is there fear from those attending the Destiny Summit that they are being brought in to hype Destiny 2 back up again and sell May update in DLC 2?
Honestly, no, because I've received lots of those emails before, and not a single one said anything about giving feedback. It was about come capture, come see the stuff that's coming out, come get videos for your YouTube channel.
You'll be
It
able to
wasn't.
release exclusive videos to your channel.
Exactly.
They're
It wasn't absolutely nothing about come and give us feedback while changes can still be made. And that's what it said in the email is we're asking for feedback before stuff's set in stone. And we have never had anything like that before.
I feel like they have to make steps to repair relationships, right? They have to make steps to earn our trust back. And I think that this is an important step to that. So for them to put out this player summit and have it be hollow would be huge disappointment to the community,
The
and
blowback would be
it would be
devastating.
tremendous. If it isn't what they've stated it to be, the blowback will be horrific. So I sure as hell hope not, because if we get there and it's just PR stuff and a majority of the time we're not engaged in conversation with them, I feel like we are going to lose our shit.
Mhm.
So
They don't want to riot in their studio. That would be real bad.
No, I
think a
have
lot
the
of-
fear. I mean, the fear is there in the back of my
Yeah.
mind. I don't want it to be a reality, but I do have like a small little nugget of fear. And I've heard
Mhm.
like people who are going do have that fear as well. But they're going anyway because they want to help
Mhm.
make Destiny 2 a better game. They want to be involved in that creative process. So hopefully,
At the same time, there's also, like, me personally, there's the fear of what if the input that I give ends up being like either misinterpreted or they do exactly as we all say and then it fucking hits the fan and flops. It's like, shit.
Well, then we all
Oh.
realize as a community that making video games is harder than we thought.
Yeah.
Sobering, humbling thought.
Mhm.
I mean, they're starting a process that has engaging their community in a different way that has been shown to be successful for other community games in similar issues where players have lost trust in the developers. I feel like it's a strategy that has been shown to be successful, and opening up and trusting and bringing your community in is the way to go, not shutting them out. So
Yeah.
we've seen by the Division that the way that you go about recreating and doing this is by bringing us in.
Mhm. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Goodbite says, would adding in more factions from the lore make faction rallies more interesting?
Not if it's the current. If we have faction rallies the way they currently are, adding more of that does nothing.
It's currently the token rally. They need to change it
Yeah, it's
to like activities that are going to award something that's not tokens specifically for that.
Yep.
Jack of all trades says, with the much needed March patch here and meta changes implemented, it still begs one question: where are the exotic swords? And what is your dream exotic sword? What do you guys think? Where are the exotic swords? And if there were exotic swords, what would you like to see?
I want
man.
an exotic sword that does precision damage. Like it does stabby, not slashy.
Oh, that's kind of a cool idea. I like that.
Like a
I would like
rapier?
an exotic
Yeah.
add.
Rapier.
It has maybe like a bleeding effect or something.
That'd be cool.
Damage
I
over
like
time.
Oh.
Dig
I
it.
like
I'm
it.
down with that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've been using longsword in Monster Hunter, where like the start of the ultimate attack is a stabby thing. It's like I want that.
Satisfying.
I want to do that, please.
I would like an axe. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Like a Kratos axe.
Yeah, or even bigger, more like the one from that Lord Saladin was carrying around, that
Oh,
giant
okay.
one that we got a
Oh, the giant
limited
axe.
chance to use. And
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'm gonna go with a scythe because you can never go wrong with scythes.
Dig it. I'm gonna bring
Death,
back.
great.
I'm gonna bring back Young Wolf's Howl because that was the greatest sword ever, and it was clearly the one that you need to have equipped during any activity. Period.
It was fun. It was very fun.
I'm going to say that my goal would be for them to bring the exotic weapons would be creative, and they would be melee type weapons and range the spectrum. Like you guys were talking about, hammers, swords, scythes. It would be great to see these melee weapons represent enemies that we're fighting, bosses that we fight, that we kill. And the melee weapon then could possibly be representing that like damage type or type of damage or style of fighting. And range variety, let their imaginations run wild.
Yeah.
Yep.
Zachary K said, how do you guys feel if Bungie stealth dropped the Galahorn into Destiny 2 and made it a super rare drop from any boss? I think an event like this would be huge. The fan service would go a long way.
I'd grind the hell out of it.
It would be like
I would.
I would grind the hell out of it too, but it would be the only rocket launcher that actually has two in the magazine.
That's
And
true.
it better be D1 Galahorn, not D2 Jade Rabbit.
I mean, there's already like rocket launchers are already too good. Like the biggest problem in PvE power weapon slot is that rocket launchers are what you need to be using right now.
Yeah.
Well, you don't like. It used to be that if you use sniper rifles perfectly, you still wouldn't do anywhere near the damage that rocket launchers do. Now it's closer. It's closer. And if you use Darcy perfectly, you'll do about the same damage as a rocket user just pewing.
Yeah.
So I like that, but no.
I mean, I would grind the hell out of it, like Defty said.
Yeah.
Well, if it's from, I would prefer it if it was from a specific activity rather than it drops anywhere, anytime. Because then it's
it's got to be. I'd like to see like a world boss on Earth, or we get a mission. The tower that was destroyed, we find that like there's a beacon in the old tower. Something's going on in there. We need to go back into it and explore it. There's a boss in there that has like a 1 in 1,000 chance to drop in a Gallahorn.
Love it.
Out of the old tower, the tower that had our vault that was destroyed.
Yes. The boss came in and picked up all our stuff from our vaults, and he's hoarding them all.
What if it was like a community activity that so many, you know, bosses killed in a nightfall triggered the potential for the community to get a exotic weapon drop from
the entire community? Everybody gets it?
No, the faction that wins.
Oh.
Faction that wins?
No, I want stuff that is exclusive to players who play all the time. We don't have enough of that in Destiny 2. I'm sorry. Some stuff I want to reserve for players who put in a lot of time and effort and are good at the game.
Yeah, it would be cool if it was an extremely rare drop, and if it was something that was specific that you didn't know yet, that you had to go get.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Must have Gallahorn for raids was a meme.
Mm-hmm.
We need more memes.
All right.
Jimmy Scooter says, wouldn't it be cool if they had a raid where Cade, Ikora, and Zavala were part of the mechanics? They would each be in a different encounter. What do you think the mechanics could be?
Oh,
I mean,
Jesus.
What if I just fight Siva Ikora and Siva Shax?
Or future Ikora and future Cade, because it's in the tree of probabilities. And they've somehow, it's an instance where they've turned rogue and become bad in that particular instance.
Ooh, in that world line.
And so
I want to fight Guardians in PvE. I think that is an amazing opportunity for Bungie.
I mean, you remember playing Bloodborne, right? And then you come across the hunters and you're like,
hell yes.
And they're so hard and they play in a total different way to all the other monsters.
Oh my
in the
god,
game.
the crow is so difficult.
Yes, I would love something like that.
I would like to see more PvE or like non-player controlled like combatants. You know, like what's the word I'm looking for here? NPCs. I would like to see NPCs. Yeah, more NPCs in more content. Polar Mind says on console, hand cannons have the same time to kill scouts, less range than autos or pulses, and bloom. If you don't have a significant skill advantage over your opponent, how do you argue that they are viable in balance?
They do larger single point damage, so it lends itself even better to peak shooting styles or people that can actually land their shots while being more aggressive and pushing.
Yes. Also, the nature of the beast type weapons have pretty good in-air accuracy, so you can actually jump around and use those more than other weapons.
Also, there's just people will like using one weapon type over another because it's their thing.
Yeah, I find myself almost exclusively using hand cannons. I just love using them.
And I'm a big fan of scouts and pulse rifles. So.
One Fox says, "Can we have artifacts back, please? They allow for more customization and lore to the universe. I mean, how many hunters looked at Efforty and were wondering if she had one eye? Just a thought. Love you guys." Think we should get artifacts back?
I think this plays back into the whole we're missing builds in the game.
Yeah.
And
Does.
yes, let's bring artifacts back, sure, but let's also bring armor with actual perks that are going to make a significant difference in the whole experience. Let's have armor set perks. So if you have all your stuff from IO, it changes your super somehow. Let's also have better customization in the character panels as well, and then tie those into perks that connect and change it as well and have artifacts. Like the root is we need better builds in the game.
Better builds. I like it.
DFYZ Banshee 236 says, "Why are Titans still faster than Hunters?" Because they're fucking awesome. Have you guys tried Titan skating on a PC?
They do have jetpacks on the back of their back base.
Oh my god, you're so fast! You fly across the map with Titan skating. It's awesome.
Well, Hunters were pretty fast with bones, but then those were
Yeah.
taken away. So
Let's talk more about Titan skating. It's so fun.
Lori, you're a hunter, right? You tend
Yeah.
to choose hunter. What attracted you to that class?
They just how agile hunters are. They're fast, right? They can move really quickly, like around objects and through the air and whatnot. I just really enjoyed that, to be honest. I loved my my arc blade, my blade dancer, the most. I don't know. I was like in my like MMORPGs that I played, I was more of like a melee sort of character. So I really loved the blade dancer for that reason. So I just got attached to hunters. I didn't really give a hoot about fucking golden gun or anything. So yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, I feel like the hunter mobility, like you said, agileness is not
Yeah.
speed isn't so much the thing as that their ability to move in the vertical space and change directions quickly with their jump. I feel like that is really their asset.
Yeah, I think so too. And that fitted with my playstyle for sure. I don't like clunky sort of defense play, you know, like Titans. It just wasn't what I was about.
it is interesting to think about. Like Arcblade was the melee experience in Destiny for a while.
Yep.
Like you had a blade and you were literally slicing through and cutting people up with that until they introduced the swords. And yeah, it's interesting thinking about that. Well, swords and hammers actually. Once they introduced that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we need more melees in this game.
I think so.
It'd be a really cool thing to
Yeah.
explore, to have like we were talking about earlier, all the different melee type weapons and all that, and have them have a little bit more of a skill in there, as opposed to just you're swiping or uppercutting or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And more effects. So you do some sort of melee that has a different effect to another melee,
Mhm.
right?
Combos and all that.
Like I said before, like dot damage or something. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something that could happen in the future.
Yeah.
We have all these guns with blades on them. I'd like to see those utilized for melees too.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Stab.
What are those guns that they have like the little sword attached to them at the front?
Yeah, there was one, the exotic.
Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo.
Red Death,
Yeah, but you
and
could never
all the
use
Iron
it.
Banner ones.
Crimson?
Yeah. You should
Didn't
be.
You
Crimson
never
have it?
used it.
Yeah.
I always wanted
That
it to
would
be
be
like
cool.
Gears of War, where you could just stick it into a thrall and just.
Oh, Right?
That would be awesome. And then get like a chainsaw and rip them in half.
yeah, the chainsaw. Yeah, gruesome.
Grays asks, has anyone on the DCP crew ever been starstruck by a guest on the show?
Yes.
Yeah,
Our voice
definitely.
actors that we've had.
Yeah.
100%. I'm just like, you've done lots of cool stuff and all the
Yeah.
things that I like.
Neil Kaplan,
Yeah.
the
He's been
last
in
one that
so
we had,
much.
it was
Oh my
just
gosh.
like he was on here and I was enjoying every story he told. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Jack from Rooster Teeth is another one.
Mm-hmm. It's an inspirational dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy because I feel like that's one of the things I like about inviting the guests or going out and is that I'm sort of fanboying on a lot of the guests. I just go and I rush out and I go, okay, I want to hear these people on the podcast. And I feel like the big part of this show is bringing these people that have great stories to tell. So I have a hard time picking like one favorite guest or another. It's just it's like a patchwork to me. It's like this, we're designing a quilt that is the community, and there's so many different aspects of it. I try to, when I'm thinking about what guests we want to get on the show, I feel like has to be a balance. I like voices to be heard, and our community is so diverse that I feel like if any one person in the chat or a listener says that their voice isn't heard in some aspect through a guest at some point in our show's lifespan, that I've failed at my job, right? So I hope that everybody feels that they've had a chance to really connect with a guest. And so to hear you guys kind of pick different people, that makes me happy, right? Because we all represent different aspects of the community. And, there's a lot of people who really connect with Lori, right? And they're waiting and wanting her to be on to hear her thoughts. And I liked Morla because of
awesome.
Because of the connection she had with the community and how she really personified that character of Eris Morn, and how passionate she was at portraying her character. But then I feel that way. I get excited on Thursday morning, literally every Thursday morning, I get excited about the guests we have on for all different reasons. So,
You know what's funny about Morla is that I wasn't starstruck actually until after, it was during the podcast that I realized I became starstruck. And then after, when I watched her on Twitter answer every fucking Twitter question, every one of them, I was so impressed by her. It was really, really was.
She's really awesome.
I was starstruck once, and when I interviewed somebody. Do you know who it was?
Oh, you got to play that Xbox game with.
It was Quantum Break with Sean Ashmore. Yeah. If you guys don't know him, he's Iceman from X-Men. He's in a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, he's in his own game called Quantum Break, and I got to interview him. So I was
really cool.
starstruck doing that too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
it's hard, right? You got to think of the questions, and then instead of just being there, sitting there, wanting to hear them
You're
talk.
really awesome.
Yeah,
really great.
What's it like being
I was
awesome?
flying back from
It's hard. Yeah, right.
I was
have
flying
some of
back
your
from
hair.
America at the time, and I was on the plane with this notepad writing down all these questions. Oh my gosh, because I interviewed him the day after I landed. Maybe the day I landed back in New Zealand, and I ended up just burning the pad, and I just went with the flow, and I pulled it off, thankfully. But I went on a whim, but it was good.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Vengeance's Mind says, could you guys share any details about your very first date? Who did you go with? Where did you go? Did your parents come along? Any first date kisses? You guys want to share any stories about your first date?
Patrick seems excited.
It was third grade. Third grade, man. So you
remember
it was
third grade?
serious. Yeah, first date in third grade, man. We went to it was the Family Fun Center or something. It's one of those places that had an arcade and then the really big jungle gym. Anyway, look. Yeah, jungle gym, whatever. Yeah, the movie theater thing. You can go see that. I wanted to go to the arcade because they had Army Men for only 2 tickets per Army Men. Okay, so
Crazy, exciting.
yeah. No, it was to my my third grade mind. That was insane. 2 ticket Army Men. I won so many tickets. Spent them all on Army Men. Just all of them on Army Men. Wow.
Nothing on the date. I mean, I guess you're in third grade. You probably.
I was in third grade. So.
Was it
But,
really
like,
a
I
date
was-
in third grade? Like,
Does that count as a date?
classify that as
We
a
dressed
date?
up. We dressed up. I wore nice shoes.
Did you dress
and-
up, or did your parents
wore
dress you
nice
up?
No, no, she dressed up
Could you
too.
tie your shoes for this date?
Yes, I knew how to tie my own shoes. Thank you very much. I was a Cub Scouts at the time. I did not Velcro my shoes. No, I got all my Army men, and this is the first instance of me being completely aware that I am what's the word?
Virgin.
Or something like that, where I'm just I'm doing my own thing and I don't realize that other people exist.
Self-centered.
Self-aware?
is what you're
Yeah, we'll
looking
go with that. We'll go with that.
Introverted, not
Sure,
self-centered.
whatever. Sure, whatever. Look, I had my Army men. I wanted to play with my Army men. I took all like 300 of my army men and set them up on the table in like this really elaborate battle and just started battling with them. And then I very clearly remember like looking over at my date at the time, and she was just like sitting there, hands in her lap, not saying a word, just kind of staring at me. And then, yeah, I went back right to playing with the army men.
So this was the first time you disappointed a woman.
Yes.
Started
Yeah.
early.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
We went out on a bunch more
Wow.
dates too. So
This is very similar to the Warcraft story where
yes.
okay.
Yes. But look, I got to play with army men. That was cool. Okay. I got a
Win-win.
ton of army men out of that.
Yeah.
That's good.
And in a nutshell, you just described 90% of the, socially awkward video gamers' entire lives.
My first date, the one that stands out anyway. I don't know if it was my first date. It was the first one that I like planned and like executed. Went so terribly wrong at like every opportunity that it could have. The plan was to ride my bicycle to her house, and then we'd both ride our bicycles to the park and have a picnic. So I stopped at a deli to pick up lunch, like for the picnic, right? And I got like a couple of, I believe, turkey sandwiches and some potato salad and like some plastic plates, like a silverware. And I rode up to her house. When I got there, she's like, "Well, I don't really like riding bikes." I'm like, "Oh, all right." So instead of riding our bikes to the park, we just walked like behind her house into the woods and decided to have a picnic out there.
Mhm.
I opened up the picnic basket. She's like, "I don't like turkey and I'm allergic to mayonnaise." So like nothing that I had bought could she eat, which, you should have investigated that probably earlier, but live and learn. We sat there anyway, and she watched me eat a turkey sandwich and a
Hell yeah.
potato salad.
You ate in front
don't
of
do
me?
that,
Oh my
Briar.
God.
And then we stood up to walk back to her house, and we realized that we had been sitting in what must have been tick central Connecticut because we were both covered in deer ticks, or not deer ticks, the
Oh,
big ticks,
jeez.
big black ticks.
Yeah.
That was no.
So we had
Does
to
it get any worse?
awkwardly inspect each other to like
Yeah.
grab ticks off of each other.
Briar, you clever bastard, you planned this from the start. Yeah.
It was the first date. It was also a last date.
Damn.
I don't know if I remember my first date. I don't.
That sounds so bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't honestly remember.
I don't feel
I
like
don't remember
I
mine
didn't go on
either.
any dates either.
I don't feel like mine was eventful, so I don't remember it.
Mine was like, we had a conversation on Twitter. It was good.
I think if what
was the
ended up
internet?
happening with us mainly was group dates. Just a bunch of people would show up at something and you would end up being with somebody during that time. So I don't know if a specific date.
Look,
Or the
let
group dates where
Uncle
it's
Patrick give you a
group
tip here.
blind date. Group blind dates are not fun. Don't recommend them.
No, that's not a good idea.
No, it's
Let
not.
Uncle Patrick?
Let Uncle Patrick give you a tip here. When you wanted to take a girl out on a date, you go ice skating. Okay? You're gonna go ice skating. You know why? Because you get to hold hands the entire time. You're gonna
Or
hold
butts.
hands
You know,
because
you
you
gotta
try to
hold-
keep your balance, but secretly you actually know how to ice skate. At least I hope you. So you're gonna be ice skating, you're gonna be fumbling around, and you'll fall all over each other. It works out great. It's every time. I'm alone.
That's clever.
Clever.
Sounds icy.
Yeah.
God damn.
Mm-hmm.
Most unexpected says, if you could only be vegan or completely carnivorous, which would you choose?
Completely carnivorous.
Yeah, there's only one easy answer
Yeah.
here.
I'm
Wants to be
already
Completely
one.
carnivorous.
There's an actual bacon diet. Ketogenic. It's real. Seriously.
Yeah.
It just gives you heart disease and increased risk of cancer.
No,
but I think
actually-
it's great for losing the weight.
Actually, it turns out it's the carbohydrates that do that. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, carbohydrates and sugar they've been blaming that
definitely.
shit on meat for years.
Yeah.
Meat is the real good guy here.
Red meat,
Sugar,
I've heard.
devil. Don't blame meat. Meat is the good guy.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the meat diet. The bacon, I've been on the bacon diet before. It's delicious.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, you have a bunch of bacon babies in chat. You can.
I used to do bacon
Munch
and
on
bourbon
bacon babies.
Fridays It was a dark time in my life.
Bacon and bourbon Fridays.
Yeah.
You know what we
bacon and
should
bourbon
do
Fridays.
at the booth at Guardian Con? We should make bacon babies.
Oh my
That
god.
sounds
no.
terrifying.
No, we
That
should
sounds
do
like
that.
the
And
health
we can
department
sell them
shutting
for
us down.
people's snacks.
I get an easy bake oven. It's like come back in 15 hours. This bacon will probably be cooked by then.
We will not have bacon babies.
That sounds great. I would turn up for the bacon baby.
We
I
may
think-
have bacon baby car keychains.
Okay.
But I was hoping people could come by for a snack, for their
No.
lunch
A
instead of
bacon
they
baby
go
snack?
get a bacon baby.
Come by for a little
As the
horror.
guy who
and
has
terror
to
in
do
your
all
life.
the
Mini bacon
logistics?
baby
No.
on a stick.
Were you in
That
need of a
sounds
nightmare?
amazing.
Stop on by.
We
Where
got
did
one we
that
can feed
originate
you.
from?
Oh no, you didn't ask, Lori. Don't ask. You don't
No, I need to know. Where did that come from?
Oh boy.
Who
Well,
started
Oh.
we'll
that?
link you to
Okay.
to the story of bacon baby.
You know what only makes
I'm like sitting here like, what?
Patrick has problems.
Yes.
yeah.
You couldn't
The
tell.
only thing that would make bacon baby more terrifying is that if it was actually stuffed with crawfish. So when you popped it open, you saw a
Fair.
bunch of crawfish in there. Woo.
They got to be live crawfish.
Exactly. Yeah.
Huh.
Stuffed with
All of a
live
sudden it's
crawfish.
crawls coming out. You're like,
I will
That's the
secretly
way
make
it's
bacon
done.
babies. I'm gonna buy a bunch of dolls. A bunch of
Just hide them around Guardian Con. There you go.
No one will
It's
know.
you're gonna set on a desk randomly and be like, "What's this?" Bacon.
If you find the bacon baby
could have
hidden
the-
at Guardian Con,
Yes.
you automatically
There you
get
go.
the PC.
There you go. That's our PC. That's our PC giveaway thing, raffle thing, right there. We're gonna
Like a
hide a bacon
geocaching.
baby somewhere in the sun where it
Geocache
can melt and
bacon
get real
babies.
smelly.
But you have to eat it before you can earn the PC.
There, exactly. Yep.
Oh
I
God,
like this.
this is awful.
Live
If
on
you
camera.
survive, you can stay home a PC.
If you can keep it down for 20 minutes, you get the PC.
All this still sounds less disgusting than what you did to Fallout last year.
Oh man, that was fun.
Yeah.
Fitted Pirate 51 says, if the crew and Lori Pops had $100K to start up any business in America, what kind of business would you start? Love the show.
Bacon
An
baby.
actual chain of bacon
Bacon baby
restaurants.
business. It's build a bacon baby.
Let's start with one instead of immediately jumping to the chain.
Go big or go home, Patrick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a chain of legitimate Japanese arcades because my God, do most American ones suck
Yeah.
real bad,
Mm.
so bad. So I would have because there's a bunch of machines in Japan
What's the
that you will
difference?
not see anywhere else. Like they actually take it seriously. It's like you go to the arcade after work, you go to the arcade after school, you get your high score card. They have cards that you can have your scores all
Ooh,
linked to.
verified
And
cards.
it actually takes a picture. Yeah, it's amazing. And there's so many machines in Japan that you won't find anywhere else.
Do you think it's
They're
the
good
quality of the arcades is high, or do you think there's a cultural difference that drives people to those arcades as
Oh,
opposed to
the
a home?
arcades are definitely better. You have like 7 floors of, here's all the rhythm games, here's fighting games, here's strategy games. You can sit there and play a game for like 5 hours with other people in the arcade doing this like massive strategy game. So I would want to bring that stuff to America.
Sounds awesome.
The true arcade experience.
Well, obviously, I want to bring pies to America. So
Dig it.
I'd start my own bakery chain and put them everywhere.
Sounds awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I would start. I really don't. I think I would. I enjoy working on. I know this is gonna sound lame, but I really like working on bikes. I'd probably start my own bike shop.
Ooh,
I've always liked
I used to work on a bike shop. I loved it.
I like the peaceful ness of fixing somebody. Someone brings in a bike, you get to work on it, and
Nice.
What about this? Imagine we took like the information on the internet, like like a Wikipedia or something, but put it in book form so you could always have that on your shelf at all times, and we
Like a
sold those
library.
books. Like we sold those books so that
Like Amazon.
you didn't.
like an encyclopedia.
Yeah, we could. Oh, that's a brilliant name for it. I love that idea.
Dig
Yeah.
it.
And then we could sell a version that's been digitized that you
Ooh.
can download.
Yeah, we can
Direct
call
your
that.
email
We put it
to
on
your phone.
CD, and you can look at it anytime you want. We can call it in
Put it
card.
on CD.
Yeah.
I think
And
what
you could dial up to read it.
dig it. I'd say we invest the money in a front, so then we can launder money for the mob. What do you say?
I like this idea.
Yeah, laundromat.
Great idea.
I'm thinking a laundromat.
Perfect.
Convert all. Yeah.
Laundromat.
An actual laundromat to launder money.
Yes.
So they'll never see it coming.
You'll
though.
never see it coming.
It's too obvious. Like nobody's that dumb. No way.
We should put it in Nevada too, somewhere near
We
Vegas.
can look at Wikipedia how to launder money.
That's a good idea.
Nobody would know.
I need to get that in Carter
Let me
thing.
see here. How to launder.
You don't.
Oh, the first result was actually how to launder Bitcoin. So I'm sure this will.
That's what we
There's
should
the
do.
Mob use Bitcoin?
Get Bitcoin.
No, there's a Wikipedia article on how to launder money.
Invent a time
Fire.
machine. Go back 10 years. Buy Bitcoin. Profit.
So I want to.
I'm sure I'm on a list now.
I would make a time machine with that $100,000. Boom, easy.
Right.
You guys want to know a story about
Yes.
something I went through? I don't know if some of you know, but in my first year of streaming, I went up to Kim.com's bitch in New
Mhm.
Zealand, in Auckland. Yeah. And after I spent time there gaming and whatever, my phone actually got hacked right in front of me after I left there.
Wow.
And yeah, they went straight into my bank accounts. I watched them do it, and they checked all my bank accounts. And then I like turned my phone off because I was like really, really scared. I'd never seen it before. And I asked him, and he said that they were checking to see if I was laundering money for him.
Whoa, crazy.
And that
Wow.
other people that had spent time like hung out with him went through the same thing, because like there's the government is after him, etc.
Sure.
Wow.
So yeah, that's my little experience with
Wow.
money
That's
laundering. Yeah, it was crazy.
And then afterwards, you went to the laundromat, laundered some money for Kim.com. Crazy.
Yeah, you're clear. Your name's clear at that point.
Something tells me we don't really know that much about laundering money, and it doesn't really involve a laundromat.
Well,
No,
when the
of course
mom
not.
has
No.
it, it's filled with like cocaine dust. It's all dirty. It's been
It's in, like,
been through the mud.
Scads of cash.
So you got to wash it, make it nice and clean, so it can be used by the general populace.
Yeah, you can't have no filthy
You don't want
cash.
dirty money and we're running around.
Iron each
Gross.
one out.
Yeah.
Individually.
Yeah,
Make it nice and crisp again.
I feel like we got this.
we
this
got
is
this.
right
We're not
up
going to
our
get
alley.
caught at all.
Adam Kamiri says, pick one ingredient each that is in your fridge right now for a cocktail, and give that combined ingredient cocktail a name worthy of the epic taste. All right, everybody, pick
Chocolate.
ketchup.
Celery.
Pineapple. I got this.
Sriracha.
Oh. Ooh.
Oh, Tefty, you're the glue that will hold this abomination together.
What is the sauerkraut? There we go.
All right,
Can we call this the German volcano?
Dig it.
DCP projectile.
Ooh.
It's organic. Probiotics.
That's gross. That's really gross.
Come by the
Listen-
DCP booth at GuardianCon to try this cocktail with your bacon baby.
The German projectile
Not
was the
alcoholic.
German volcano.
For the record, we are not having bacon baby or whatever
I
that.
mean,
Sure,
I think
Pope.
we should.
Sure.
No, we're really not.
Got it. Most interesting Korean says, when taking a shower, do you use loofah, a towel, a sponge, something weird, just soap?
Loofah.
What's a loofah?
You
It's like
know
The
what?
scrunchie? The scrunchy thing?
it's like
It's like a long spongy.
I always called the scrunchy thing.
yeah.
Loofahs aren't spongy. What?
No, it's like almost abrasive. They're made out of like a plastic
It's like-
webbing.
Yeah, it's like a plastic webbing. That's good. Yeah,
Okay.
like a fishnet, but smaller and like bunched up.
Yeah, I
Yes.
don't know what a loofah is. Now that I'm realizing this.
Okay,
This is the way it's being described right now. I don't think I know.
got it.
I think Pope is about to get one
Alright.
from his house right now.
I use a loofah. I find that it exfoliates very well, and it's a good cleaning device because it is
Yes.
sort of abrasive. So
Mhm.
I feel like it maximizes my effort in the shower.
I use a
Um,
mixture of things. I have exfoliating gloves. So put gloves on.
You
your
actually
hand,
put
exfoliate your
gloves on?
skin. They're gloves.
Yeah,
They have,
those
it's the
are
same
good.
abrasive. It's just, it's the
Yeah.
same kind of like abrasive material. It's so you can just go like this and you can exfoliate your whole body super easily.
Huh.
And then like the scrunchy thing, that too.
Nice. I have a team of chimpanzees trained to scrub every inch of my body while I'm like this in the shower. And then I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, that's the scrunchy thing.
That's the
Yeah, that's a
scrunchy thing.
loofah.
That's
same
what I
thing.
said is the scrunchy thing, my God.
It's a loofah. But I use this in liquid soap, so I like the foamy stuff.
Yeah, liquid soap
Yeah,
is
that's
dope.
what I do. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm a big fan of liquid soap. I like it.
It's good. It's good.
I feel
yeah.
like you waste less, you know? I feel like I with the bar soap, it kind of just disappears, as you're...
As
Gets
a
water.
as a father who shares a shower with his children, I feel like there's less risk of wondering where that soap has been last.
Because
Very good
just
point.
squeeze it out right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to that bar, you're just standing there staring at it.
Bar could have been in
Anywhere.
someone's.
What are you saying about my kids? What?
Maybe they just wanted to apply it directly to their.
Their areas.
Some people do.
Some people do.
Maybe we gotta
Some people
rethink
do.
that toilet paper ban.
I mean, do you use if you're at a guest house, like if you stay over at somebody else's house and the only soap they have in the shower is a bar soap, do you use it?
I rinse it
I
well
specifically give my guests a fresh bar of soap.
you'd
I
have
will
to like
cut the
scrape
soap.
off. Yeah,
Take a butter knife
just
and.
scrape off the whole outside to get the fresh stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
man.
you drop a bar of soap, have we asked this question? If you drop a bar of soap on the floor, is the soap dirty or is the floor clean?
We asked that question the other day.
We asked that question. What was the answer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
some bullshit.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's what it was.
We dodged it.
All right, that's it for Twitter questions today.
Yeah. 2 hours, 30 minutes. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in this week to this episode of DCP. If you want to tune in next week, same time, same channel, everywhere. I don't know why I'm trying to go this direction with the sign off. So you want to find more of me, I am at Holtz_YT on Twitter, where you can find me scrubbing out of Magic tournaments before day 2.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me over on YouTube. Just look up Briar Rabbit. You can see me streaming on Twitch at 1 p.m. Eastern, weekdays and some weekends. Just look up Briar Rabbit. If you like podcasts, I do another podcast called Revolver Live. Check that out on popular podcast services or YouTube or Twitch. We do that on Sunday nights. And if you want to talk to me, I'm on Twitter at the Briar Rabbit.
I am Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. I'm going to catch my streams at twitch.tv/Tefty Teft. Usually start around 6 p.m. Pacific time most days of the week. And I have a YouTube channel as well where I throw up some archives.
And if you want to find me, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at Miss 5000 Watts.
And me. I'm Lori Pops with 2 eyes. You can find me on all social medias, same name. And I stream 5 days a week. And yeah, Friday streamer over here.
And this has been Poke Bear. You can find me streaming on Sundays on the DCP channel.
Right.
It's been fun. Come out and hang out. And make sure to follow our Twitter at DCP_live. And if you're watching right now on Twitch, make sure to hit that follow button. If you're listening on iTunes, drop a comment about rate the podcast. It helps us out immensely. If you're one of our patrons, we have a new DCP episode, DCP Off Topic podcast available for you in Patreon. If you're not a member of the Patreon, it'll be available later next week. Go ahead and check that out. It's episode 2. We had a great time recording it. We talked a lot about God of War and Tefty's experience with Far Cry 5. It's everything but Destiny. Go check it out. And on our YouTube channel, we have a Let's Play of us playing Sea of Thieves, where Watts and Patrick tried to teach me how to be a pirate. And apparently I waste a lot of bananas and cannonballs.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Definitely.
There's a reason his character is plump.
I am a plump pirate that likes bananas. So definitely check out our YouTube channel. It's going to be linked below. And check out our Let's Plays. They're a ton of fun. We have one coming out every week. Check it out. Anything else, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, Lori.
Thanks for
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
All
I
right.
think that's it.
Is that it?
All right. That's it. Thank you all for tuning in this week. We will see you all again next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.